All right, we're back. Back to back. That's right. Back to back. So now, if anybody from the WhatsApp chat wants to join, the StreamYard is there. Um, and yeah, we can have open discussions. Anything you guys want to bring up, we'll be talking a little bit about the market. So I read earlier that Estupinian is for sale. I mean, we sold Estupinian apparently. So that should be interesting. Ricci is leaving, huh? I'm seeing these rumors about Ricci leaving, but I don't see why. I don't. I mean, I think it's you spent 40 million on Jashari, so you're kind of forced now to try and recoup that money somehow. Therefore, you have to sacrifice Ricci, which is a shame because I would totally keep Ricci over Jashari. Atalanta Juve for Ricci. That'd be a good move for Ricci and for those teams actually. Yeah, and he's better than Jashari. He is better than Jashari. I mean, he's definitely more. Jashari is so green. Yeah, Jashari needs to go on loan for like 3 or 4 seasons, and then he can come back because we already have Modric. It looks like Modric is going to be signing. Modric is going to be signing, so we're going to have Modric. I don't know what's going on with Rabiot, but it looks like Rabiot might be staying. Of course, guys, there's still a lot of market left, so we don't know these things. But Musa is back also. They have Loftus Cheek there, Fofana. So, as long as those midfielders are there, that's the roster. And there's an excess of players because Amorim ain't going to be playing with 3 midfielders. He's only going to be playing with 2 midfielders this time around. Since he's going to be playing with only 2 midfielders this time around, you can't have a roster built for 3 midfielders. Get Jashari out of there. I agree. I would, if I were to make a sacrifice, it would be Jashari for me. Yeah. Sad to see Ricci going. Totally. I don't understand Modric, like just retirement. You did everything you could do for Croatia. It's done. Nothing left to prove. In a way, you know what? I mean, that is also something that needs to be said. Yeah, okay, you want to develop Jashari, get rid of Modric. Because Modric isn't an investment money wise. Maybe Modric is more an investment as far as the sporting aspect goes. But you're not. But you have to sacrifice the development of Jashari if you're going to keep Modric because they play the same. They play the same position, except Modric is a maestro and Jashari is a student. We can't move forward without selling Leao, Fofana, Tomori. Yeah, there's a lot of players still in the team that make up the roster. So Leao, guys, by the way, a lot of reports are saying there's no suitors. He is looking for the Premier League. Now, there was an interesting report saying that he went on a holiday in Turkey. I don't know how true this is. It's just something I read. But obviously, if it is true that he went on holiday on Turkey, it's because he's probably going to go and scope out the only 2 teams that are publicly have been after him, which is the 2 Turkish teams, Galatasaray and the other one. I can't remember. Fenerbahce maybe it was. So, as far as the people know, as far as what the media knows, those are the only 2 teams that have asked about him. So, if Leao's in Turkey, it's probably because he's not going there on holiday, but probably he's checking out the city, seeing if it's something he wants to do. If not, I don't know. We'll see. Something can always happen. But we know for a fact that Leao, there is a divorce and there's going to be a split coming up. whether it's going to be forced or whether it's going to be natural. But we saw it in the press conference, in Amorim's press conference. He did not talk about Leao. Well, Amorim said that his idea is to essentially play Pulisic on the left side as a right-footed player that cuts in. That is Amorim's idea, to play Pulisic on the left. So that tells you that there's no plans for Leao. Leao said he wants out. Leao is gone. And he's gone to Turkey, it looks like. So maybe Leao's career didn't go the way he wanted to, but who knows? Maybe Turkey. I mean, listen, Galatasaray is a more ambitious team than Milan. At least there he can fight for the Turkish trophy. He can play in the Champions League. He can fight for trophies there. And make even more money. So it is a more ambitious project than Milan, believe it or not. But how fucking crazy is that? How crazy is that? I want Komoto to be with Modric all the time, learning from him. So Komoto, I want to speak about Komoto. Komoto is a player that is a very young player. I believe he's 16 or 17, something like that. He is the son of an ex-football player. And I've seen him play in the U19s. He's part of the U19 team. I got to say, I don't think he had a very impressive campaign in the last Euro U19. I think there's another midfielder that is essentially the captain of the U19 team. And to me, he seems like he's ready. He's ready to play today. And that guy is Sala. Sala is a player of the Futuro, and he was the captain of the U19 team, and he was a starter for every game. So he kind of dictated the midfield. I think that guy is ready, but I don't see him in the roster. It looks like this Sala guy is going to be kept in the Milan Futuro, while Komoto is being... I thought Sala was better. Essentially what I'm saying is, from what my eyes told me, this Sala guy is better than Komoto. But Komoto, apparently for his age, they consider him a very good potential prospect. So, yeah, let's see what they do with him. Let's see if they send him out on loan or they play him. But it's Milan, guys. It's very difficult for Milan to develop players, especially midfielders. Forget it. Leao was so talented, man. Sad to see his fall. To see this fall off a guy has turned into the Portuguese Balotelli. Yeah, in a way, there's expectations that maybe have not been met. Yeah, you can definitely say that. Jashari is definitely the most useless signing, such a waste of money and overhyped. I would sell his ass in a heartbeat. Yeah, if Pulisic doesn't perform this season, time for him to go to. By the way, guys, there's also reports claiming that Pulisic doesn't want to stay at Milan. Pulisic has offers, has suitors from the Premier League, bigger teams, more ambitious teams. And honestly speaking, guys, what is Pulisic's motivation to stay at Milan? Right now, staying at Milan is taking a gamble. You could potentially be stuck in this very, let's say, depressed situation where you have this fan base that is super, super ambitious, but yet the team underperforms. Like, that could be a real damper onto your career. Pulisic is entering the prime of his athletic years right now. Like, this is Pulisic's... How old is he? Let me see. I don't want to say something wrong. I want to make sure what I'm saying is correct. Let me fact check his age. Yeah, that's what I thought. Pulisic is 27 years old. This is the next 5 years of his career are going to be the most important 5 years of his life. And I really wonder, like, at 27, is Milan really where you want to be? Like, after we know what the situation is here, super toxic environment. The fans hate the ownership. The ownership has completely blah blah blah. We know all of this. Why would Pulisic want to be in Milan when Liverpool is calling, when this other team is calling, these other teams are calling. So I don't know if Pulisic is going to stay with Milan, guys. I honestly don't know. If I was Pulisic, I wouldn't. I would leave. If I was Pulisic, the first offer I get from a big EPL team, I'd take it. At 27 years old today, guys, and I'm not saying this to be to be anti Milan. I'm saying this like at 27 years old, I would never in a million years choose to stay at Milan if I have the opportunity to play in teams that actually fight and play to win the Champions League. If I have that opportunity, I'm doing that. The next 5 or 6 years are going to be the key years that are going to define Pulisic's career. Pulisic is not going to be remembered for what he has done so far. Pulisic is going to be remembered for what he does from now on, because now he's entering into the prime of his athletic career, and I wouldn't fucking choose Milan. No way I would. That's such a bad decision. So I'm curious to see whether we keep him or not. But if we do keep him, he has a spot, and that is on the left side, cutting in with his right. If Pulisic doesn't perform this season, time for him to go. Shit, let him go. We could use his and Leao sell to get a good, young, hungry winger. I mean, listen, if you're going to sell Pulisic, you make money out of it, and then, and Leao too. And then use that money to get players. All right, I saw this. A big offer from New York FC, MLS team for Pulisic. Also, I don't think Pulisic wants to be the face at any project anymore. He just wants to play. This one here could be also a very good opportunity for Pulisic. Maybe even New York FC and the project that they offer Pulisic would be a more ambitious project than Milan. Like, they're offering double the salary. He'd be the face of the MLS. Yeah. Roy, you watch a fair bit of Italy's youth teams. Do you have any opinions on Baldini, the coach? You know what? Baldini's daughter actually just died a few days ago, so he must be quite devastated. Baldini is a very interesting coach. I like him a lot. He really truly represents the purity of the FAIGC, of the Coverciano. He's not a club coach. He's not a coach that does it for the fame, the money, and the glory. He's a service coach. Like those coaches that work for Coverciano, they're more like service coaches. And that's why you don't get to see those coaches become like career coaches usually. But you know what? Spain pretty much did that this time around with La Fuentes. They used one of the federation coaches. I think he coached the youth teams, and then he went to the senior team. Maybe that's something that Italy should do instead of searching, because obviously we just saw that it works. Maybe Italy, instead of looking for coaches, Serie A coaches, career coaches, maybe Italy should create this pipeline of service coaches, service to the federation, service to the FAIGC, and then do their time with the U18, U19, U20. Especially if you're a coach that is winning trophies and that is achieving, you get promoted, and then you get to the first team. And then you coach the team not like a club team like these guys do. You actually coach the team based on the idea, the philosophy, and there's a consistent idea there that is like a chain. So that is kind of what Spain did recently. I think Baldini would be a good candidate to do something like that. I think Baldini would be a good candidate. Baldini is definitely doing things for right reasons. And also, when he speaks, he's quite honest about the situation in Serie A. Because, look, Guys, the people that know the most are it's the FAGC. They know what the problem is in Serie A. The problem in Serie A is that the young domestic players are not getting any fucking time at all. They're getting thrown into the garbage bin as soon as they exploit them for the youth academies. Once they graduate, they throw them in the garbage. And Baldini is quite open about that. He said this in his own ways, and it's a big problem. It's a big problem. Honestly, that is what needs to be solved. We need to bring back the culture of developing players and having pride in developing players. If you don't have the players, you don't have anything to program for. You don't have a team. But yeah, I do like Baldini, and I think if Italy, what I would recommend is Italy to adapt that system and to continue that linear progression of coaches from the youth to the senior. Baldini, I think, would be a good option for that. Even though Baldini has said that he doesn't see himself as coach for the big players because he doesn't think he's achieved enough or something like that. I don't know. He said something like that. But I think that the culture should be what Spain is doing as far as and Italy did it before. They did it with Maldini, with Maldini's father, Cesare Maldini. Cesare Maldini started with the youth national team, with the U21s, and then he was promoted to the senior team. So Italy's done it before, and he almost won the Euros in 2000. He won with the U21s a lot. Actually, he won a lot with the U21s. So yeah. If Pulisic is smart, he should leave. I think so too, honestly. Magnan as well, I don't know why he's still here. He could go to a big team and perform easily. I think the same, but for me, I don't know. For some reason, Magnan likes to suffer. I don't know. Maybe Magnan is this guy that he does have that responsibility of leadership. It's like it's ingrained in his DNA, maybe, or something like that. And he does feel like he needs to drown with the boat, you know. It does kind of feel that Magnan is can't get himself untied from Milan's mast. Jerry is getting this here right, as he'll be selling the club in the next 2 years. I hope he sells the club. Okay, guys, one good piece of news that I do have, and I've said this before, there is a dossier that is being moved around. Meaning, there are suitors who have asked information for the club, and there's a dossier that has been created for these people to see the information about the club. What does that mean? That when people are knocking on the door and are asking, hello, is Milan for sale? The answer is no, not for sale. That is not the answer. The answer is here. We'll send you the dossier. If you want to go any further, give us a call. So that is good news. That is good news. That is excellent news. That means that the club can be sold sooner rather than later. But it all depends on business and all that crap. New York FC is opening a new stadium too. Yeah, that's a really good project, honestly, for Pulisic. Pulisic can become the face of the MLS, and he can spearhead the MLS, make tons of money, or he can go to Liverpool and try to fight for the Champions League and the Premier League, or he can stay at Milan and gamble. Thank you, Fayadino. Like and subscribe. Show some love to Rossoneri TV. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Luis de la Fuentes has done a lot of those players since they were young, like Olmo, Ozar, Bial, and Merino. Yeah, and that makes sense because it creates a linear story, a linear relationship. So maybe Italy should do something similar. What about Pep? Will he cook with Italy? Okay, guys, so I've done my research on this. In the history of football, no foreign coach has ever won the World Cup, and there's only one coach in the history of football that was foreign to the team he coached that won a major trophy, and that was in 2004 when Greece won the World Cup. They had a German coach. That is the only time in history that a European club has won anything with a foreign coach. As far as in general, in South America, some foreign coaches, but South American coaches have won with different teams, like maybe an Argentinian coach with Colombia or something like that. But very little, very little. Like three, I saw maybe three names, and then so in general, this is out of all the continents. This is a phenomena that it is data. You can look at it for what it is. In general, foreign coaches do not win with their national teams. So I think it's a gamble that is not worth taking, because if we're talking about 130 years of football and only one time this has worked, and it was a complete anomaly, because nobody would have expected Greece to win that Euro. That was an anomalous scenario, completely anomalous scenario. So if that's what we're betting on, I don't think it's worth it. I think I would rather have Baldini. Honestly, I would rather have Baldini be the coach of Italy than Pep. And once again, who is Pep going to coach? The clubs aren't developing players. At least Baldini knows the players that are coming up. He knows them already. He's coaching them right now in the U21s. So maybe in a few years, Baldini will already know those players. So for me, the answer is no. I would not go with Pep. I think it's a bad idea. But I know a lot of people love it because Pep is this name. Oh my God, Pep is the savior. He's going to come and save us. But it has never worked in international football, guys. It has never worked. So I would not do it. And if they do it, whatever. I'm against it. But I think it's a waste of time. And Brazil is wasting their time with Ancelotti. Ancelotti should be coaching Italy. That's the truth. Ancelotti should be the coach of Italy right now. But Brazil offered him so much money. So Ancelotti is going to be making sure that Brazil doesn't win anything for the next 4 or 6 years. It just doesn't work. Maybe in the Copa America it seems like it works, but in the international stage it doesn't work. And it makes sense because it's such a nationalistic tournament where the motivation is the country. The motivation is you're fighting for your colors, you're fighting for your people, you're fighting for your flag. It just makes sense. It just makes sense that that's why foreign coaches don't get the job, because those intangibles of a coach who's actually coaching for his country, he will have feelings and he will have ideas and he will have a drive that a coach that is not coaching for his country can never have. Those intangibles are more important than Pep and his fucking tiki-taka Man City and Barcelona things. So that's my opinion. Suso deserved to be in a better Milan team, not going to lie. I agree with that, yeah. Did you say the Italian journalist shot dead, Esposito? I did read about an Italian journalist, but I don't know much about it. Yeah. Well, it's not just about club not utilizing Italian youth players. The Italian government needs to get involved. They need new legislation to force clubs that have more Italian players and less foreigners. Yes, and the way to do it is taxes. It's all about money at the end of the day. So the way you do it is you incentivize Italian clubs through taxes. Hey, if you develop Italian players, you get tax breaks. Woo. Guys, if Jerry gets that memorandum, okay, you're going to get tax breaks if you develop Italian players. He's going to become, tomorrow he's an Italian. Tomorrow he's going to become an Italian. Trust me, it's all that. So yeah, that would probably be the best way to incentivize the clubs is taxes. And we saw that when they put the growth decree, taxes favored foreigners, and ever since then, it's only become foreigners. The Serie A is a foreigners league. It's not an Italian league anymore. It's become a foreigners league. So yeah, good point here, and that's the only solution there. Taxes. You incentivize them with taxes. Develop a young 19-year-old, well, you get a tax cut. You get a 50% tax cut. Euro Greece, not World Cup. Yeah, I apologize. Yep, that's true. It's very difficult for those kind of things to happen. Um, Ancelotti's anti-youth. It's not. It's not up to him to do that. It's I mean, it would be up to if he was coaching a club. Then he should. He shouldn't be. Honestly, I don't see any Italian coach that can grow youth players. Internet. Why not? Why not? Italians create. If there's one thing that Italy still does, which is super good, is we create great coaches. I mean, that's why most of the world is a lot of countries hire Italian coaches. Why wouldn't they grow youth players in international stages? Why not? Otto did something special leading up to the '04 Euros. He brought the players together for a common cause, got rid of players who weren't down, and integrated his German culture with the Greek culture. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so, me personally, no. I would not hire Pep. But if they do, whatever. They do. And it'll be stupid. It'll be really stupid. Okay, guys. Let's see if they allow me to watch this. I haven't seen this. Let's watch this together. Let's see if they won't stop the stream. Right, I believe the reason why Milan followed Guardiola is to introduce a new philosophy of football from youth sector all the way to senior level, which also means it clubs need to adapt to change. But again, what is the point if when we watch Juventus play, there's one Italian. When we watch Milan play, there's one Italian. When we watch Roma play, there's two Italians. The players are not growing their own players. So who the fuck is Guardiola going to coach? Who is he going to coach? He's going to coach. He's going to have the same fucking team Gattuso had. What is he going to do? Ask him to just do fucking keep away for 90 minutes a game? Italy does not have a problem with coaches. I think they want Pep because Germany got Klopp, and I don't know. Italy has right now an extreme inferiority complex, or something like that. Something psychologically is fucked with Italy, and they're traumatized because it's three times now. So now maybe they think Pep is going to save them. No, you need to develop the players. The ones playing on the fucking field are the players. It's not the coaches. The coaches are not playing. The coaches are not scoring. They're not defending. The coaches are there to give instruction, give ideas, give order. But you have to develop the players. And the players can only be developed by the clubs, the best clubs. Look at Barcelona. Spain had 9 players from Barcelona. 5 players from Atletico Madrid. And... but 9 players from Barcelona. 9 of those players play in Barcelona. Because Barcelona develops players. They develop. So you have material to work with. No, honestly, I think the only way is the taxes. The FGG can't do anything. They cannot tell clubs how to operate. They cannot tell. They'll give them a few regulations here and there. But when it comes to finances, the FGG cannot tell them how to spend their own money and how and who and what to invest in. The only way is through the government and incentivizing clubs to develop players with tax breaks. Hey, you develop 5 Italian players, you get this much tax break. For every 19-year-old that you put on the field and you develop him into a professional Serie A player, then you get to pay that player. You get to save this much amount of money on taxes. That is the only way, guys. It's the only way. Because clubs don't give a fuck. You think Jerry gives a fuck about the national team? No. You think Oak Tree gives a fuck about the national team? No. You think the Fredriksons give a fuck about the national team? No. Do you think Elkan and all the fucking corporations that own Juventus give a fuck about the national team? No. The FAG can't do anything, Fadina. The FAG cannot do anything. They cannot, because otherwise they would have already done something. This is all, the only way is the government. That's it. It's tax incentivization. When the government put on the growth decree and say now foreigners are, if you bring in foreigners, they're going to get 50% taxes discount. All of a sudden, the clubs now are buying fucking Lukaku. They're buying this guy. They're buying that guy. They're incentivized to buy. Milan became a completely foreign team. Why? Because of the tax incentivization. It all comes down to money, business, and spending. Pep, nobody gives a you think Jerry's going to give a shit about what Pep says? Jerry doesn't give a fuck about it. Jerry doesn't even know anything. Jerry has his ideas of how he wants to make money, and that's what matters to him. The FGG has no power whatsoever into doing. And also, there's this loss of pride in Italy. It's a cultural thing that Italy, there's a loss of pride in Italy. Total loss of pride. But yeah, you ask the government to incentivize these teams through taxes, all of a sudden, Totti, Del Piero times 10. They're gonna be coming up like fucking flies on shit. They're gonna appear. All these teams want to do is save money. All they want to do is save money. Jerry's asking right now who Pep is. Yeah.
Sempre muovendo.
Sì, Pablo.
Hold on.
Quindi facciamo un tocco, solo uno, solo quello che sbaglia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 12, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 18, Mano! Questo da dietro. Non mai mano. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5.
You know, someone that we haven't been talking about too much is Nkunku. So Nkunku, obviously, I think is a player they're going to try and and capitalize on. So I think we'll be seeing a lot of Nkunku next season. Apparently, he's quite fit. You know, he's had a lot of time to rest. He's back to top form. I think they're planning for Nkunku to be one of the protagonists of next season. Damn, look at that one-touch Ronaldo play like Messi. There's a video on the biggest risk Jerry's taken this season financial-wise. The channel is Business of Sports. Okay, I'll check it out. We'll do another live reaction maybe another time on that one. Roy, back in the 80s, there were limitations on the money foreigners you can get. Having incentives is one thing. What I'm referring to is legislation. Rules allow more. Yeah, but they changed all those laws because of globalism and the euro and all of that shit. I mean, now they're all, you know, because of a European. Because I think in the 80s, like, a foreigner was like was considered someone that didn't have an Italian passport, right? When I say foreigner, I just mean players that are not Italian or not part of the Italian system. But today, like, theoretically speaking, like, a German guy is not a foreigner because he has a Euro passport. You know what I'm saying? So you have these kind of, I don't know how that would work. Those kind of legislations, I don't know. Maybe they can come back to those. I don't know. Like, English players are foreigners because they're not part of they're considered foreign nationals, right? Because they're not part of the Euro. But like Belgium, France, Spain, all these players are part of the European Union. So that has changed. That's one of the big differences. In the 80s, it wasn't like that. It was each to his own. If they could do something like that, hey, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't give a fuck about the negative attention that they'll start calling Italy a Nazi country. Nkunku is one of the worst signings in recent years. 40 million for a Chelsea benchwarmer. Not only was it was a signing that didn't make sense, but now that we are going to be playing with this 3-4-2-1, that position there, those two players behind the striker, like Nkunku is pretty much, that's his position. Like, so now there should be a place for Nkunku. Let's see how he does. Honestly, the player that I'm the most curious about is Serie, the young Italian Ivorian. He looks really good. Like, he impressed me a lot in the highlights. And honestly, I wouldn't even worry about replacing Leao. I would just replace Leao with Serie. What he did in Serie B last season was very impressive. I don't know if you guys saw the video with me last time, but that guy is good. I think that guy is going to turn out to be really good, and it's probably the only good signing Furlani has ever done. His leaving party signing.
Bravo, domo! 2, 1, 2, 3, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29.
You know what I was thinking, actually, going back to that point that you made about legislation and non-foreigners, whatever. There are teams about this. There are teams that have that policy, but it's an internal policy. It's not that there's no legislation behind it. Like, for example, Bilbao from Spain. It is just the policy of the club to play players from that region, to play all players from that region. So, like, that's like cultural stuff, right? That's cultural stuff. It's pretty cool that in Spain they put culture before profit, I guess, right? Because there's no it's not a law. Like, it's not a law that they do that. That's just their club policy. Like, Milan could have its own club policy and say, "Hey, our policy is to develop Italians from Italy, from the Lombardy region." I don't know. I wouldn't go there. I would just say from Italy, and do that as our culture, as our in club policy, kind of like how Barcelona does. But they're not going to do that. They're just not going to do it. So in Italy, the only way to do it is taxes. Yeah. When is Ira leaving my club? When he becomes a billionaire, apparently. Thoughts on potential Thuram for final swap? I think it's insane. Like, why the fuck would Juve do that? Guys, I'm telling you, like, Juventus, Napoli, Inter, Roma, their market is looking desperate. This might be a layup season for us, guys. Their market is looking terrible. I don't know if this is true, but yes, bring it on. I will take Thuram over Fofana 100%. Why do they want to do that? I heard they want to bring in Kessie. That's a good signing for them. Kessie is still... How old is Kessie? I don't think Kessie is that old. Let me check. Kessie. 29 years old. That's a good age. That's a really good age. The next 3-4 years, that's going to be best years of his career. They want to bring in Kessie. That's a good signing. But they haven't done shit. Look at Inter. Inter's tried to get Palestra. They got bought out. Didn't happen. They tried to get Nico Paz. Como came and fucking took Nico Paz from them. They let go of Somner, Acerbi, De Vrij, Darmian, and Dumfries. And there's someone else that I don't know. I think I'm missing someone else. All of these players were key players. Some of them were not starters, but Acerbi was a big player for Inter, right? Acerbi was a big reason why Inter made it into that final. Those are big shoes to fill. Acerbi, De Vrij, Darmian, Dumfries. They haven't done that. Inter has not filled those shoes. Inter today is a weaker team than it was yesterday. Black Tifoso, who's this?
How you don't know? She know it's me by now.
Clint.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Clint, the Odyssey, Jesus. No, what happened to Nolan?
Uh-huh.
No, never mind.
No.
I won't say anything.
Okay. Yo, hey, Roy, I'm gonna come back. Are you still on for a couple? I'll come back in 5 minutes. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'll be
gonna
back.
stay on for too long, but
No.
yeah.
I'll be back. I'm literally be back in less than
All right,
5
all right,
minutes.
all right, all right.
All right, bye.
All right, let's see what we got. Cagliari is fully Italian. Are you sure? I don't think so. Fofana swap is fake. Don't follow it. Probably is. It can't be real. Roy, do you see Foden coming or bullshit fake news? I mean, it's possible that they're talking to them. I don't. I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of players that they've spoken to that we don't know about. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily fake news. I think it's possible that they are scoping the situation. I know that Foden didn't have a great season at Manchester City. He lost the national team. He is not the key player or that he was before. So maybe there is some truth in him wanting to leave. Is Milan a good destination for Foden? That's another question. Could it be true? Yes. Is it going to happen? I don't know. That's it. That's all. That's how I see it. Whether it's fake news or not, I don't think it matters. I think if they want to find out how much Foden it costs, they can just make a phone call and ask them and see if it's doable. Maybe my question is to you guys: do you think Foden would be a good replacement for Leao? Do you think would you be satisfied with Foden replacing Leao? Maybe that's the question that I have for you guys. That Kessie Benacer Tonali midfield was peak. Yeah, it was great. That was really good. It worked perfectly well. Don't forget Inter's doing a triple swap with Tottenham. Who are they swapping? Tell me. Mkhitaryan extended with Inter. Yeah, I mean, okay, great. Yeah, Mkhitaryan 30. It's like Modric extended for Milan. Okay, so you would get Foden over Leao. You think Foden over Leao is a good signing. I like Foden.
Yeah, right. I'm back now, bro.
Hey, what's up, bro? We're
Yeah.
talking about Foden right now.
Yeah. I saw that. I'm not interested.
So
Not
the question
interested.
is, would Foden be a good replacement to Leao?
No. No. No.
Okay, so you say no.
No.
Joel
No. No.
says it's funny, so he doesn't agree either.
No. Because it's not because I don't rate Foden. I love Foden as a player, but you gotta understand at what time. I just realized over the years, for those type of players that haven't done their schooling in Italy, right? In terms of like coming from the academy, understanding the league, like they're just not gonna get that impact. Like, and I think now, after all these, Premier League players doing and done got, yes, Christian Pulisic had a phenomenal, but look now, I mean, where has that really led us, right? Did you know? Did Pulisic lead us to a trophy? Was he that's the most impactful? I'm saying this because based on the state of Milan right now, because people like Foden coming, it's gonna be too much responsibilities on his shoulder. They're gonna want him to deliver and all that stuff, and then it might not happen. Then what? Then it's gonna be another bust. Look at all these prem guys that we got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, like, yes, outside of McTominay, that really came and really, from the Premier League, that really came and did wonders. I mean, who else from the Premier League over the recent years, right now in Serie A, you can think of that really had an impact? Lukaku, that's another one, right?
Lukaku, I don't. Yeah, maybe Lukaku though, regardless of the Premier League, he would have had an
Right.
impact.
But then again, yeah,
Foden, like
coming,
being more an English player, English players in general. Abraham had a decent stint with Roma.
yeah, but still, where he went back to England. So what I mean is, we're not looking for decent stint, right? You come in and you become like the face of City out. You go on a run. I don't think Foden right now is the
Well,
answer for us, man.
the money they would spend on him would be that kind of signing. Okay, now you are obligated to be the face of Serie A because we're going to
Right.
spend 80 million on you. Yeah. Kiko says he likes the signing. He thinks he would. The question is not more so if you like the sign. Is more would it be a good replacement for Leao? Kiko thinks yes.
Yeah, but you got my problem too. Before we continue, we don't even have an identity right now. So getting all these players is like, what are
Well,
they
hold on.
building? Hmm.
in the 3-4-2-1, like Foden would fit in that two, in that line of two. So tactically speaking, he would fit. Is it the right choice? That's the question. I don't know.
That's the
I
thing.
am not that convinced, but I
Now, a
would, I
player,
would, I would give that place to CC, guys. I think we already have
but
the
yeah,
player.
yeah, but the player that I'll probably give a green light on, and I'm not saying bias because I'm Ivorian or anything, but I'm a Diallo for me. Like I think he can fit in our scheme. You know, I
Diallo,
think, yeah, I
Diallo,
think Diallo would
the
fit. Yeah.
Manchester United guy.
hmm Coming from Atalanta,
Yeah,
I
I
think,
know he's a superstar kind of kid. I don't know much
yeah,
about him though.
yeah. No, he was at Atlanta. He didn't really play. He was in like in the Primavera, but he was so good. I think he played 1 or 2 games, but then he went straight to England.
Mm.
But I'm saying it based on his defensive skills and all that stuff because Foden and all these guys, they come from the Pep type, mindset. Do we play that style of play, right? Because you need a player that's kind of like both, right? That when it's time to drop back or you got to play that nasty football. But then again, it's Amorim. I'm probably full of shit, but I don't for the amount of money. I don't know. I just don't know if it's the right move for him. I can get proven wrong, so be it. But I'm just going based my as recency bias right now, based on the last signings we had from England. It did not work in our favor. I'm sorry, it didn't. It's either they come here hella injured, or you know, from the
Okay.
Emerson Royale, your Estupinian, freaking. I mean, now Pulisic now, like if Pulisic goes cold the second year now, then what? You're gonna start looking.
We were talking earlier about Pulisic. Pulisic might leave this summer.
Yeah,
I mean, the
he might.
guy's 27. Like, why would he sign a new contract with Milan? Like, he's now is his prime of his the most important years of his career coming up right now. Why would he sign with Milan?
And he
I
already
don't get
run
it.
the champ. He already won the Champions League, right? So he probably might be looking. I feel like Pulisic next move he's gonna go to the MLS. I don't
Yeah,
think players like
yeah,
Pulisic
we
they
spoke
have
about
right
that.
now the motivation or the grinta to be like I want to be the best player in the world. Like I don't think that's in their head.
Yeah, but I don't think that he wants to be in a team that is struggling to make the Champions League. I think he wants to be either. No, I kind of like. I think that the opportunity for him to be the face of the MLS kind of player is
hmm
something that he might want.
He's going. He's gonna want that.
He's going to want that. And
hmm
then the opportunity to win the Champions League, like Liverpool apparently was after him or Arsenal, is better than fighting for sixth place at Milan. Anyway, I want to move on because we already spoke about him earlier. Let's see. Let's see what else we got. Foden for Leao, midfielders Casillas. Oh no, there's a question here. Roy, random question. How do you rate Robinho for Milan? Was he a flop? I remember Robinho, and
Flop, flop,
he's a flop.
flop, flop. All that
He,
era of Brazilians, they were all flop. For me, even Ronaldinho at Milan was a flop. Yeah, he gave us good occasions, but he was a flop. He was a flop.
you think
Sorry,
he was a flop?
Ronaldo
Um,
was a flop.
the one thing I remember Robinho is that he always uh, missed the goal. Like so many sitters, he became like a professional at missing sitters. But football wise, he was really good. Like there's no doubt
He
about it. He
he
was
was
really good.
good, but I feel like all these guys when they showed up to Milan, football was not their priority anymore.
Yeah, when
And
we talk about Ronaldinho,
yeah, yeah, Robinho,
Ronaldinho
mhm,
Ronaldinho won the World Cup, he won the Champions League, he won the Ballon d'Or.
Ballon d'Or.
By the time he came to Milan, he came to Milan with a full stomach. He
Yep.
was he was done. He
Same
was
as
done.
the Robinho. Robinho already made his money at Man City, Madrid and all that stuff. Like, yeah, they weren't interested. For me, among that whole era, the only guy that was probably impactful, that was the big name player, was Zlatan at the time. But all the rest, like Zlatan, I'll probably say De Jong was good for us. Van Bommel was good for us when they all came. Like they had something to show, right? But all the other guys, they were just names on our team. To be honest, they were just fucking names.
Mm.
To be honest, I feel like Mendes have more of an impact than Robinho on our team. when Jeremy Menez was at Milan, to be honest.
Mm.
Even though it was Bento era, but still.
Yeah, he missed a lot of sitters. That's what I remember. He missed sitter after after sitter.
For me, for
Okay,
me,
yeah.
for me, sorry, not to cut you off. For me, the Leao replacement should not be another big name player. Leao replacement should be, like you said, the Cisse guy or somebody we just don't fucking know. And he takes a spot.
I mean, listen. I'll after this video, we'll finish watching this training video. I'll put on the Cisse highlights. Tell me why this guy shouldn't be the guy. You saw them. You saw them. He's Italian Ivorian. Perfect. Couldn't get any better than that.
He's Greek.
He's Greek. His name is Ellen.
Oh shit.
All right, let me read these chats. Okay, Ellen of Troy. By the way, that whole it was so pointless. All that chit chatter before the movie. Whatever. Uh,
Blame neurotic or critical drinker. Blame them.
yeah, embarrassing. They should have never
They've
wasted.
created. See, my thing with these two folks. Just a brief note. My thing with these two, I used to follow them when they said like it was on the MCU. I'm like, okay, they have something. I'm like, yeah, it's too much like propaganda. But after a while, they were just going overboard. They were just hating to hate. And I'm like, bro, not all these movies are bad. Like you guys just want to make everything political now and then this
Yeah,
left right wing thing. It's like, I can understand if these characters are playing a central role, but if they're just mind Trevor Scott
but
was in the goddamn movie.
but even if they were like, it doesn't even matter. Like,
Yeah, but Trevor Scott was in the goddamn movie.
I didn't even notice him.
What they gotta say about that?
I didn't notice it. I do have a I do have critiques for the movie though, guys. We're talking about the Odyssey, by the way. So I went to see the Odyssey yesterday. I do have critiques, but not political. Nothing of that stuff. Leao on his good days unstoppable. I don't see any good replacements, but this new formation, I think he'll be great. I like him. We need some dribblers who can shoot and assist. Leao needs to go. Leao can't stay at
Yeah,
Milan
yeah,
no
yeah.
more.
Leao. Listen, I've been. Everybody can attest in the group chat. I've been Leao's biggest advocate ever. Leao's one of my favorite players, but you know when somebody's head is no longer on football. I mean, you can just see even during the World Cup, even the past two World Cups, even in 2022 after the school death, like for Portugal, what does he do? He has it. It's just he sent back. His mind is no longer on football for him, and I think he needs new scenery. For me, like they said, Turkey would be a good shout. Going to Tottenham would be a good shout. Like going to a second tier team that plays European League, I think he'll be good. Because I don't think Leao can go to a top
Well,
tier team. I think those
he's
days are over.
he he is in Turkey right now.
Yeah, so for me, that'll be best. You go to Fenerbahce or Galatasaray, go over there. I think we got what we needed out of Leao. He gave us a
Yeah, and I
Scudetto.
don't think he has any more left to give us. Like I think he's done. He's done.
And it was always said, Arsene Wenger said it the best, right? They asked Arsene Wenger why did they sold Henri or why Henri went to Barcelona after a while. Arsene Wenger said players that rely. When you have players that, is speed and strength, by the time they're 27, 28, when like their second or third contract comes around, you gotta let them go. Or then you're just overpaying somebody just, they're just sitting on you. And that's what it is. You have to let them go after that time. And if we're getting 50 million for him, we need to be thankful because after that, if he signs another contract, he's gonna be in his 30s. Now you're just, you're losing money. You're caught with somebody that's just that. And right now, I don't even know what Milan identity is. So I don't even want to be speaking too much on players. I don't know what Amarin is going to do. I don't know.
I really know what I would do. I would give Cisse, young, hungry lion, that left wing, and let him fly. Let him fly.
I just saw a report in Spain. They said what 19%, 19% or 18% of people, players that play in La Liga come from their Primavera. Like their
That's
Primavera players
that's why
playing in the
that's why
league.
they win everything, bro. That's why they win.
I mean, look at Kubasi, bro. Kubasi, I don't know, bro. I became a fan of him this World Cup, bro. This kid is only 19,
Yeah, he had some
playing
crazy
like a
numbers.
boss.
19,
Oh
and
my
that's insane.
god, bro.
That's
Like
crazy.
what?
And listen, and the U19 team, the U19 Euro team,
Hmm.
had a crazy tournament. They destroyed the competition. The Spanish U19
No,
team.
yeah, no. So, like I said in the thing, so Luis de la Fuente was he's been a coach for a long time, but they gave him the reins of I think the U17, no U19. So, Oritabal, Fabian Ruiz, Unai Simon, all these players you see, they were under him
Yeah,
back in
yeah, yeah.
20, I think back in 2019 or 2015, right? Then the Olympic team with Ferran Torres and all these guys, he took the Olympic team. So he had a follow up with all these players. So he knows that Pedri and all these guys. That's why for him it's not about name. So Pedri's not performing on get off. We're
Yeah.
putting Fabian Ruiz in. He took
He put.
Fabian Ruiz.
Yeah.
Fabian Ruiz also was under him at that U19, like Euro back in. So he has that helpful. He's been following since you, so he knows them. He knows when somebody's tired or whatsoever. So it's been a follow up, and that's why it's when you see like Spain is literally a system that doesn't really rely on a player.
Yeah.
And that's why they like
So
that.
he's a coach for U19, the U21, the Olympic team, and then the senior team. And we
Listen,
spoke about this a little bit earlier, and that's what I think Italy should do with Baldini.
yeah, and I
But
think, and
actually, I want to get to that topic with you because I know we are on opposing sides. But let me get through some of these first, and then I want to talk to about Pep to
okay,
you because Roy, what do you think of Amorim personally? I don't see anything special, guys. When we did that press conference thing, we watched a press conference. I thought Amorim is a guy that pretty much said he's coming here to learn. He hopes he doesn't make a mess. He knows he needs to figure out Serie A. He knows that he needs to learn Italian really quick. He knows that the tradition here and the culture here is very specific, but he has to learn it. He has to figure it out, and he hopes he does his best. To me, this guy is a guy that's probably going to get fired by November. That's what I got out of Amorim. Do you have any opinions on Amorim?
who me? I mean it's same old. I mean we got what we. I don't think this management learns. You had two Portuguese manager within the last year. They didn't have a time to finish the season, and then you go again for a third Portuguese manager again, which all these Portuguese managers did well in their league. And I'm starting to think like the Portuguese league are the biggest oil salesman and the on the planet, from players to coaches. You see what I'm saying? Like like you look at the Darwin Unions, like they'll upsell you the Joao Felix for 120 and all these players like
Yeah,
crazy numbers because they're good, and then they come and then it's peanuts. Same as their coaches. I mean, Conceição was one of the best coaches coming out of Portugal. What he did with Porto, what happened when he came to Milan? So we failed with him. Yes, Amorim had a good Portuguese team, but it's the pressure of sporting the pressure of sports not the same as Milan. Yes, Milan is in obscurity right now, but hey, it's still Milan. Like we still have demands, as fans. We've never been to Italy. You know how complex Italy is. Fabregas right now, I think is the only foreign coach that started to figuring out the league with his players. So
and it took him
I
a long time. It didn't happen
no,
overnight.
but he did it the right way, right? Played with Como, wasn't Serie B, promoted them, stayed up, back
Well,
to back years.
he
So,
he played. This is his story at Como. He played at Como.
yep,
Then he became Como's U19 coach.
coach, yes, sir.
Then he
He was
became
assistant coach. He was assistant coach, right? When he went up to the senior, if I'm not
then he
mistaken.
assistant coach, and then he became a coach. Then they got promoted. Then they did 1 year in Serie A now, and then the second year in Serie A because because we lost against Cagliari,
Yep,
he finds himself in the Champions League.
Champions League.
But it was a linear progression in a team that allows you to do that.
Yes, Yes,
You know,
and I don't think because then with Amorim also is you're dealing with these Americans now also. They're Jerry is moving like any typical American NFL owner. They'll fire you once you don't get results. Not understand you need to implement, have plans and all that stuff and all these players. So I just don't know. I don't want to speak too soon. I don't want to look stupid, but I'm just going based on patterns from what I've seen. The verdict is out. I'm not getting overhyped over nobody, no player, no whatsoever. I'm still gonna watch Milan. I'm gonna sit there and watch
yeah,
because obviously this whatever they do in these other leagues does not obviously doesn't translate to our team because there's a lot of things that have to be fixed. They're not even football related on the pitch. So I just don't know. So for me, I'm not
okay,
moved. I wasn't moved by his signing whatsoever. I mean, he
gotcha.
failed at Man United. So hey, it is what it is.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll see what he does. Nathan says, but Roy, you aren't a fan of using young players so soon. Have you changed your mind? Well, Cisse is not. Cisse is turning 20 this year. He's already done a year in Serie B. Now it's time for him to play in Serie A. It's like what I'm not particularly for is like when you put a 16-year-old or an 18-year-old. I would give them a little bit more experience. But once you're 19 and you're 20, you play. That's those are the years. Once you're 19, you're 20, you need to play. Now you maybe not be a starter, but you need to play. And then Cisse had his year in Serie A, in Serie B. He looked great. He looked fantastic. He's going to turn 20 in October, so it's his time to play now. We don't need another Leao. We already have him. And this guy's better. I think he's better than Leao. I'm going to say that. I'm going to even go that far. Cisse is better than Leao. This is an insult. What is an insult? AJ, what is an
Because
insult?
because 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 when I look at the layout thing, right? When I look at the layout thing, I look what Napoli did. Napoli losing Insigne, who was their best player. They didn't go and get out a big name replacement to do because big name replacement. I feel like it's a temporary fix. You go and you get Varaskelia that nobody knows about, and look what happens.
Mhm.
So I feel like this is the same thing. We need to bring somebody that just nobody knows. So if it's a Cisse kid, let him be. Let the Cisse kid take over and be who he is. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's the efficient way of moving because there's less pressure. That you don't know him, and I think the demands are lower. You go get Foden for 80 million or what? You do that when your team is 95% complete and you know you're gonna compete for a Champions League or go or make a deep run an European title, but we're not playing anything. So
Yeah.
at this point, we're still fucking playing, I don't know, playoffs for Coppa Italia. We're not even in the last four. So shit, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Finally, George Mendes is is a
Getting
big
sick.
part,
I'm
big
getting sick
influence.
of them to link to all these Portuguese players too. I'm really sick of it. I'm really sick of it. Because let me tell you how utterly complex it is. It doesn't mean Amorim is not a good coach, but look at guys, top gurus like Luis Enrique. Because after Luis Enrique won the Champions League with Barcelona, if I'm not mistaken, he spent a couple of years before he got the PhD. He was at Roma. He was the coach at Roma. What happened over there? So it's not always a given that these guys come over here and succeed. I'm not saying we're
Who?
the best league.
Which player?
No, Luis Enrique. Luis
Oh,
Enrique was
listen,
coaching
the
Roma.
coach. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what
Oh, the
happened?
coach.
Yes, he's still
Hmm.
one of them. But it's
Hello, are you there, guys? Can you hear me? I think we lost Eric. Eric Clint. Amarim is only okay. I want to ask you guys a question. Does Amarim deserve time to develop? At Milan, in theory, look, in my opinion, after we already gone through that, we already gone through that. So in reality, the answer should be no. Right now, we already developed the team. We're blah blah blah. We already won the Scudetto. We should have continued building that team. So the question, should Amorim deserve time to develop, is more, by the way, Milan has been such a failure that now we need to get another coach and help him develop. So that's the problem with that question. I think no. I think we need a coach that can get shit done right away, and very difficult for Amorim to do it. I don't think he can do it. Very difficult. Also because, we were talking about Fabregas earlier. Fabregas, whether he finishes seventh or fourth or eighth, the fans are celebrating. They're going to give him his flowers. They're going to say he's a genius. With Milan, you tie two games in a row, the fans are going to cut your head off. So it's just a different beast. Milan is a different beast.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. I mean, we have seven Champions League for a reason. Like it's a really the Milan fan is really particular. Like we're still, you know, we can be washed or whatever. We're still a big European giant. I don't care how people want to see it. So there's going to be demands when you show up, especially in the Italian league. Same goes for Juve. Same goes for Inter. When you're at the head of these things, like it's serious business. It's serious stuff. So it's like if Amorim needs time to develop, then we might as well, focus on, I don't know, Primavera players, bring in young players. But like, if I'm hearing we're linked to players like Foden and all that stuff, then it means you're trying to like just jump all the steps. Then, brother, we're going to need results because this whole demand on you need time when we just start from fucking scratch and we don't know who's who. But if we're going to be like, yo, we need to be in Champions League next year, and then you try to get all these big signings, or you bring the fact that you even give the trigger for Gonzalo Ramos, I'm not giving you no fucking time. I'm not giving you no
Yeah.
fucking time.
You spend
No
80 million
fucking
the guy.
time.
The guy needs to be Serie top scorer MVP right away.
Right away. You need to have an impact like Oshman did. They bought Oshman for
Yeah.
70 million. He showed up.
Exactly.
He was going crazy. So that's what we need. I'm not giving you time.
We can't be like, oh, give him time. No, in
Nope.
Italy, 80 million is like you're buying a superstar.
Before him, our biggest signing was Paqueta for 38 million. Never spent that type of money, even
Yeah,
under Berlusconi.
right.
So no, you gotta perform. I'm not even giving. In that case, I'm not giving them grace, because then they're getting you the striker that you want. I don't want to hear like, oh, the league. No, sir. You took
Yeah.
the job. You looked at all the intricacies. You have a plan. Let's see. Let's see. For
Listen,
me,
if it, go ahead, sorry.
for me, I would have wanted for Fabregas to be honest.
As a coach,
Yeah, for me, I would have. I would have
I
because when
mean,
I say he
he
understands the
obviously
league,
knows the league better. Yeah.
when I say he understands the league, us struggling against smaller teams, especially these Serie B teams that let you, because that's what Milan problem is. It's not even against the top four. It's usually when we play these things. Fabregas really, that's where he made his name. And he struggled against the big teams. And him being in Italy, like if we're going to get a foreign coach, I rather from the league. And especially new
Yeah,
and
that
innovative
makes
ideas,
sense.
I will go for Fabregas for sure.
Makes
And right
sense.
now, Fabregas not going to have too much pressure because he had a clean. It's not like Thiago Mota. It was 1 year with Genoa. Boom. It was like a quick season. I think, like we said, for Fabregas, I feel like it was it was a good progress, and he was one of the most. I've been following Fabregas since '05. Ever since he came on the scene at 16, midfielder from England to Spain. So, his football IQ is high. His football IQ is high, and and the way he even breaks down, like I listen to his interviews, I'm
World
like,
Cup
okay,
winner
this is
too.
what we need. World Cup winner, Euro winner. He didn't. His Champions League is the only thing he didn't win, but
Yeah.
still, and he played the game, so you know what you're expecting with these guys,
Right.
right? Because for me, I'm always going to be a fan of also players, their coaches, right? I mean, Amorim also obviously he played the game. I remember Amorim playing, um, but
Yeah, I
it's
do
just
too. Yeah. He was
it's
alright.
just for yeah, it's just for me. Like it's just for me. I Right now, Spanish football is winning. I'll go with a Spanish coach, bro. Right? I'll go with a Spanish coach that you give him time. We can, with the little Italian flair. Because I'm not gonna lie, Italy was closer to Spain. Like in history of football, I feel like the Dutch, the Italians, and the Spanish was always similar. Outside of the Italian catenaccio, in terms of technicality, Italian players are always technical. So it's not like it wasn't brute force or rugged like the British or you know what I'm saying. It for me, Italy was always similar. It's just we have more of a defensive thing, but we're always will have like the technical
Right.
players that can do stuff. So it's not that far off. So that's when I'm hearing, and I know we're gonna go into the Pep topic, but that's when I hear people like Pep and all that stuff. I, I'm not opposed to it because I don't think we're gonna lose our defensive shape and all that. So you can still put the flair with that, but making us more technical and moving forward. Compared to like a straight haram ball like the leg and shit.
Allegri. All right, yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. Why can't they come from the bench? Komoto will have learned a lot from Modric. So Komoto is, let's see, how old is Komoto? Let's see. So Komoto turned 18 this year. He already had a year of Serie A experience, Serie B. He did pretty good, apparently. Komoto is a player that you can either send him one more year in Serie B and have him play full time, or have him play off the bench this year. What I would not do is have Komoto just come in for 5 minutes and play like 5 minute cameos here and there. If that's what they want to do this year at Komoto, I suggest they send him out on loan one more year. Then next year have him play. Give him the minutes. Give him the minutes. But of course, with Modric there, it's going to be hard for him to give him minutes. Now, do you think, if you ask me, my personal opinion, this is just my opinion, should Komoto stay 1 year training with Modric, or should Komoto stay 1 year playing football? At his age,
He needs to play.
he needs to play.
He needs to play. There's this
Yeah.
whole trainings thing under a year thing. It's when you see the Yamals and all these things, the Yamal stayed with Messi for a year, bro. Like when you're ready to throw you out there, you feel me? There's no reason for a 19-year-old, 20-year-old now. We need to move from that mindset. Like if you play, you're only going to get better at that age by playing. By constant playing
Yeah.
time is going to make you better. Why are these Como players good? Like the Nico Paz and all these guys. Nico Paz, they could have stayed at Madrid, you know, play under Modric and all these guys over there. They needed to play.
Right.
You go to saying you're comfortable. Look now. So if you know you have the talent, you need to play. Like you don't have to be
Yeah.
under nobody's wing. They throwing you out there when it's ready.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's that this whole under the wing. That's no. If he's good, if they know he can be in the starting 11, you're there. Not because you're waiting. You're gonna train under Modric. We can all train under Modric, and then when it's time to put pressure now, they put you on the field against Juve. You don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah. 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 I think one more year of playing constant football, then integrate him.
It only worked. I feel like that can only work with somebody that comes from overseas, right? They don't understand the system, kind of like what Thiago Silva did, train under Maldini, and then boom, and then you go. But this Maldini was getting ready to retire anyways, so he got
Yeah,
thrown
but
into the
but
fire.
but
But
Thiago Silva was older. He wasn't so
no,
young
yeah, I know, but
anymore.
that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
you don't know. It's
There's this 19-year-old German Italian CB who plays for Udine. He's really good. Okay. I don't judge Amorim for Man United failure. All the top managers failed there. Amorim could cook up something. We have better players now. Also thoughts on Brahim return. It's been rumored. Brahim, I don't know. I'm not jumping off of my seat for Brahim Diaz.
You're saying Amorim failed over there, bro? No. How do they have better players? Listen, it's the same Amorim pushed them to go and get Benjamin Sesko. What did Sesko do for Man United? They got him the players he wanted. They went out the way to get the players he wanted. How much Man United have triple the amount? Couldn't get his stuff across. So what are we saying? Like for me, it's not that. I'm not going based off what he did at Man United. I'm going based off the history that we have with the Portuguese. This is a third Portuguese coach in less than a year, right? In less than a year, this is the third Portuguese coach. The first two were failures. What are we doing? I'm going based off that. So
I'm going based off what I saw him, the way I saw him speak. He seems very aware that he's not ready for this.
yeah, and then his speech's not convincing. But I rest my judgment, bro.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he does. What's up, Nathan? How you doing, bro?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do I sound crazy or do I sound fine?
It's good, bro.
Yeah, we
All
hear you.
right. I think the Portuguese are frauds, so we should not be looking at these guys anymore.
I mean, yeah, we tried all of them. we tried all their best ones. Fonseca, Conceição are their two best ones. Now we're going for Amarin.
Like, I feel like Jose Mourinho is the only reason why Jose Mourinho and Ronaldo are the only reason why Portuguese products are even relevant. Like,
Damn.
No, no, I wouldn't say that, Nathan.
I
Nathan, that's
am,
a
I
stretch.
am.
No,
I don't give a,
no,
I don't care.
Portugal is a small country. Portuguese always had talent. Now they
No,
got
no, no.
into
I'm
these
not saying they don't
things.
have talent. I'm not saying that they're not talentless or anything like that. But to sit here and tell me that we should be going after all of these Portuguese coaches when Jose Mourinho's the only one that's been successful, like what is this nonsense?
Yeah, but it's they had. I mean, your super agent. What's his name? Jorge
Mendes,
Mendes. Yes, but the thing about Portugal, the problem with Portugal, right? What put a little kind of like a dark cloud on them, it wasn't because the players they had are not talented. It's the price tag that started to come up with these things. Then like, oh, well, if all these guys are coming from the Portuguese league and they're good, then it means the coaches might be doing something right. Yeah, they might be doing something right for the Portuguese league. So it created this whole fake bubble. It inflated them. You see what I'm saying? Where it's like, okay, let's go and get
but
Amarim. Because think about all the players like the Gyökeres. Think about all the players that come. I think Portugal sells probably eh, they probably sell the most expensive players that come out of that league when they're
why do they deserve that though? Is what I'm
no,
trying to say.
and that's why I said it's probably Jorge Mendes and it's the New Times.
Right, but if anyone just pays attention, when are I mean I could be wrong, but so correct me if I'm wrong. But are the Portuguese youth teams winning the Champions League, and are they winning like the UEFA, the Euros, and the World Cups? Are they winning those constantly?
No, but what I think it is that these Portuguese teams develop their players. So they have all these players that are 22, 23, 24 with already Champions League experience, Europa League experience,
hmm They
and
develop
uh,
good players, yeah.
and
Uh, but
and they and then they overinflate the prices, kind of like the English do.
Yeah, they over, and that's the thing. Because the thing about Portugal, when it comes down to football development in Portugal, one thing I admire from them in Portugal is that when I say they train their player on and off the pitch, so most of Portuguese players actually are usually bilingual or trilingual most of the time. They'll speak English and Portuguese with Spanish. Like they have a whole. They really really know how to develop players. That's one thing I tell them. The problem now starts with the progress, because they'll get all this started. Like you look at Joao Felix. For me, Joao Felix doesn't go to Atletico Madrid and turn them to a complete haram merchant. I think he becomes peak because he was a good player. But it's like, what's the name? There's the same as that kid on Fabio Silva. Fabio Silva that's coming, who's the next big thing out of Portugal, goes to Wolves in England, destroy his game. I don't know where the fuck this dude is now. So they know. I'll tell you one thing is that they know how to develop players, and there's also a good league starting off for like technical players. So you Luis Diaz and all these guys, a lot of Brazilians, most of Brazilian players come from out there. It's just the problem is them going forward, and them going forward. I feel like the pressure of price tag on their head really, I think, affects their playing style, or a lot is expected from them compared to like when you're in the Portuguese league. Yeah, they might have their demands, but like, are the demands at Benfica similar to when you go to Chelsea, when you go to Manchester United? And that's why I feel like some of them don't, make it that further. Because when I look at somebody, look at Enzo Fernandez, he's decent. I don't think he's the best midfielder ever, right? I feel like his game has regressed over the years, but then all these guys were in Portugal. So Portugal is usually a good step in terms of player development. That's a league I'm like, yo, go forward. But it's just again the price tags.
And that honestly, I wish Italy would be more like Portugal.
The price tags is just. I feel like that affects the mental. Because look at Gyökeres, right? Gyökeres went for what, 80 mil. What did he do at Arsenal? He's not even starting over Harvard. So what are we saying, right? And all of them come from there, and all of them come from there. But Darwin Nunez, same thing,
Yeah, but this is
right?
just perception. This is just perception. They have the perception that they are doing phenomenal in a league that is below the others. And
No,
unless
but
you're in a system that really caters to you, and we've seen it in the World Cup.
Yeah,
Portugal's midfield in the World Cup, on paper, because these guys are PSG, they won Champions League. These guys should be dominating. These guys are fucking jokes. So no, man, I'm sorry, but that is fraud watch to me. They have to be
it is.
in a
It is.
specific. It's a
The,
specific system. It has to be a specific coach. It has to be a specific way. And if it's not that, these guys do not perform. Plain and simple. I'm
they
not
look
buying into this
really
crap
good
no
in
more.
Portugal. When they're in Portugal, they look. The football in
Phenomenal, right?
Portugal looks, yeah, they look phenomenal, right?
but that's why.
But then you realize that they're actually just
So it's perception.
regular
So
normal players. I agree
so
with
it's
you.
the
Yeah,
perception. It's perception that we see. Now, I agree with what you just said. I wish Italy, because I've said this many times, I wish Italy would allow their young players to play at these teams, and they're not allowed to. So it looks like on paper that they're not as good as the Portuguese or the Spanish on paper. But then, Roy, I know you watch as well too, Clint. But when we watch the youth national team play, Italy's in the semifinals or they're in the finals almost every tournament, major tournament.
yeah,
But they don't get to play, so the perception is that they're not as good. When in
right. Yeah,
reality, it's the opposite way. But they have to be allowed to play, otherwise it just doesn't work.
yeah.
I'm not
That's
buying
right.
into the Portuguese nonsense no more. I don't care.
There
There
you
is
go,
nothing that
guys.
can change my mind at this point that's
No,
going to
they
tell me
have.
that the
We cut
Portuguese is
them
good.
out.
Not, no, I know, Clint. I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm not saying that they're not good, but they are not above everybody like how they're being portrayed. I'm just not buying into it anymore. I don't want any more Portuguese. They're not that fucking good. They are just like everybody else, which is not saying that they're not good because they're
Yeah,
professional players.
I agree with
But
that. Yeah.
these are not all star players. They're just not. I
Actually,
don't care what anyone says.
actually, look at Gonzalo Ramos in Portugal. He looked awesome, right? Because of how they play. Then you look at Gonzalo Ramos in PSG. Looks like a completely different player. Just like a yeah.
Gonzalo Ramos is somebody. I think he needs confidence, but I think him coming to Milan does not help. It doesn't.
Yeah,
But
we don't have anyone that can give him the
he can
ball.
he can prove me wrong. But like, bro, they're not about to
Not
give you no
Cisse,
fucking
guys.
space, bro. They're not gonna give you space,
Cisse will
and
give
that's
him the
that's
ball.
my pro. That's my problem. Like, they're not gonna give you space. Like, this is not the other leagues. It's more slow paced. When you start playing against teams like the Udinese, like these teams that are fighting relegation, they're not giving you an inch of anything. How are you
And,
doing when it's in that case?
and
How are
you
you
know, Clint,
performing against the low blocks?
That's a good point that you brought up in regards to like the spacing. Remember when we had got Andre Silva, and remember he was the
Yeah,
next big striker. You remember he
strike.
was the next
Yes,
big thing. And you
yes.
come to Italy, where the defenders literally are wearing you like a fucking shadow, and then you realize you're just fucking average, bro.
That's
You're right,
one
bro.
thing.
That's how
Other
it is in
that
Italy,
that's
man.
that's one thing Italy is always gonna have above the rest of people in Europe, even Spain. Is Italy from a defensive perspective, like spatial control, like it's not a fucking game, bro. In Italy, like defender, you gotta this like defenders understand space because they understand then they're not gonna run with you. They're not even
Right.
giving you that time. They're not even giving you that time. So and that's why I feel like we have a hard time going forward because that's what they'll do. When you start playing against Allegri, you think they're gonna just get defenders, a random defender from fucking I don't know shit. Salernitano, whatever. It's not all of a sudden he's turning into fucking prime Maldini because you don't know what the fuck to do,
Yeah.
and
That's why
and that's the
like I'm. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
no. I said that's why I think that's why I like people like that's why I love Lautaro so much because people like Lautaro, bro, like they bully. In Italy, you really gotta bully defenders, bro. You gotta bully them. Casala Ramos does
Or
not give me bully anything,
or at least
but
harass them. Like
or but
you gotta be a menace
but then again, hey, he can come here and succeed. I don't know, but 80 mil, bro, I'm not giving you time for shit.
for a striker that doesn't even consistently get 15 goals a season.
So I don't want to hear it, bro. We paid you 80 million. You gotta prove.
All
So
right, guys, let me read the last comment and then we'll get into the Pep conversation. Um, Kiko says Amorim dominated the Portuguese league, which is something to be mentioned. Yeah, he did fail at Manchester United, but then he did go to Portugal with Sporting, and I think he did really well. So maybe, but I don't know. At the end of the day, when I listen to the guy talk, he doesn't need me to say it. He says it himself. Like he says he's not ready for this job.
what
He pretty much
what's
says
his
he's
name?
not ready
What's
for
his
it.
name? What's his name? Also dominated the Portuguese league. What did he do here?
Who?
Conceição.
Conceição.
Right.
Like it's easy to say that, bro. Like it's easy to be like, oh, you dominated Italy stays Italy. Like it doesn't mean like fucking. It doesn't mean anything. Like you
Yeah.
can dominate however you want. You go somewhere you fail.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see.
I think
We'll
if
see.
I I think if you're not someone like Pep Guardiola or maybe like Luis Enrique or a super coach like that to where you can train your teams to
Even
be technical gods on the ball. You got to have
but
someone with real tactical knowledge. Like it's going to be
but
one or the other. You need to be super tactical or
but
super technical.
but Nathan, before you came, I said Luis Enrique was in our league. He failed. You understand? I'm not saying these coaches are not good. You can still fail here. Luis Enrique was at Roma. He failed.
No, that's true. That's true. I'm not. I can't
Maybe
remember
maybe
what
the
players he
maybe
had
the
then.
maybe the today. Well, he had a good team, but maybe the today's Luis Enrique is
Right,
more
he might be more
suited.
developed. He could be, but Roma back then wasn't really like I can't remember
They
if
had a
they
good
were really
roster.
that phenomenal.
They had a good
Okay,
roster.
well, I honestly I can't even remember, so it is what it is with that. But I'm just saying, like you got to have someone with like that type of set. Like it needs to be one or the other. Like Fonseca and coaching style. Like I mean, like, come on, man. I think
Look,
everybody here knew that that was not going to work for either of them.
I'll tell you what. This is what I think is positive. Going back to the conference, for, Amorim said he knows that Serie A is full of traps. He did say that, and that is good. He does know. Fonseca had no fucking clue, even the second time around. Whatever. But Amorim said he knows that Italian football is full of traps. Therefore, and he knows those traps are in those obscure
Sorry
stadiums
guys, I
against
had a
those
phone call.
Now you're
and
good,
he
bro.
and he and he knows those traps are in those obscure stadiums against obscure teams. The problem is that he doesn't know what those traps are. That's also what he said. He doesn't know what those traps are. He needs to learn them and figure them out. The people that work with him never worked in Italy before, so they don't know what those traps are. Jerry Cardinale is ahead of a fucking thing. He has no fucking clue what anything is. And Ibrahimovic doesn't give a shit. All he cares about is making
Yeah,
money.
you're right. It's it's going to be interesting. At least, like you said, at least he admitted that he's kind of, he might be out of his depth in the beginning, but I mean, as fans, we don't give a shit. Like we've been put right back into the Banta era, and unfortunately, he falls along with it. So, I mean, he's got to
Yeah.
figure it out day one.
All right, guys. Let's close it up with the last discussion of the day. Pep Guardiola for Italy. Is it a yay or is it a nay? And what
Now, I
is
don't
your
know if
opinion?
anybody else can hear. I don't know if Roy's talking or not.
Hello?
It could be my mic, but I can't hear anything other than the music in the background.
Wait. You can't hear me now? Hello? Guys, can
I
you
can hear you. I can hear you.
in the
If anyone
chat,
can
guys?
hear me, can you just say that you can hear me? I'm not sure what's happening.
Edison can hear. So let me
Okay,
see if you.
thank you. So I guess Roy, I don't know if you're there or not, but I guess I'll just keep going until he gets back.
All right.
Uh, but yeah, these these Portuguese coaches, I think they're kind of. I feel like they're kind of stuck in the middle. Um,
Hey,
they
Clint, can you
realized
hear me?
very quickly
No, I can't
that
hear you. I can't hear
their
you, Roy.
style
I
of
can't hear
play
you.
was not going to work, especially with the
Okay.
players that we have. So they kept kind of flip flopping back and forth, and then they realized that the hybrid approach wasn't going to work either. So
Right.
these guys lacked conviction in their own ideas, and then I think that's what ultimately led to
Can
their failures.
Clint, can Nathan hear you?
Yeah,
Okay,
Nathan.
yeah,
Nathan, can you
I'll
hear
get
me?
it. I'll go out and come back in.
Okay. He's gonna come back. Can you hear me, Roy?
I can hear you. All right, so when Nathan comes back in, we'll face the topic of the day.
All right, can you hear me?
Can you?
Yes, I can
Yep.
hear you.
Okay,
Can you
that's
hear me?
interesting. Yeah. So the people in chat can
Okay,
hear me, but you guys couldn't hear me.
I can't hear you though. Roy, can you hear Nathan?
I can hear Nathan. Yeah. Clint, you can't hear Nathan?
I can hear both of y'all.
Yeah. So I'm still talking. Yeah. What about Roy?
I'm
I can
here.
hear
Can
Roy.
you guys hear
You
me?
can hear him?
Yeah.
I can't hear him.
What
Yeah.
the
Let me.
hell?
I'll go back out and come back in. I'll go back out and come back in. Okay.
What is going on?
Guess I'll do the same thing
Foto
too then.
superlativo. Dai. Forte indietro, state bene indietro. Avremo sfalsati. Apre forte.
Wait for everybody to come back in, guys.
Avremo sfalsati. Laterale forte. Dai. Su bene la gamba, lascia salire. 2-2.
Okay, let's see.
I ritorni in
We
corretta.
have Nathan.
Sempre muovendo.
Can you hear me, Roy?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, so let's wait for
You think? I think I know what it is, Roy.
what?
I think this channel has too much technical know-how and it's messing with the frequency.
Okay.
That's what it is. People in the chat know too much. There's
Too much brain
too much
power.
knowledge, too much brain power in the chat, and people joining kind of fucks it up.
Okay, so we'll wait a few more minutes or a few more seconds for Clint. If he doesn't show up, then we'll get into it. All right. Roy, what's up, Slinkiest? How you doing? I wanted to join early, but got busy. Hope the show's going last longer. We are on last subject of the day.
One more. Hey.
Uh, Clint, can you hear me?
One more. Smate.
Clint, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can.
Nathan, can you hear
Yep,
Nathan?
I can hear you, Clint.
I can hear you. Yeah, we good. We
All
good.
right, guys.
Right.
So let's get it going. Pep Guardiola for Italy, yay or nay?
Jay for me all the way.
Yay
Man,
all the way.
I don't know, man. I really don't like the whole idea of the foreign coaches, but if Italy's not going to change, then they need to force a change, and that might have to be it.
Yay for me because I think yay for me because I think he's not coming for what we think he's coming for, and that's the feeling I'm having now based on how things are aligned. And like I said in the chat, that's why I say yay for me. Yay for me, I think it's a new doctrine they try to implement all down the line,
Like a new philosophy.
like a new philosophy. And I think that's why he's year four. I don't think it's like, oh, we need to go back and win the World Cup. I highly doubt that's what Maldini and them are looking for at all.
Okay, I agree with that. If that's the viewpoint, I agree with that.
Especially with Spain's success. There, like I told you, went on the call earlier. I said earlier that I said I said earlier that when you look at Spain back in the day, Spain, Italy, and the Dutch had a similar style of football. The only thing, the only extra factor for Italy that's we're really defensive minded. But as far as from technicality and going forward, we always had that. Italy always had that.
Right,
It's not like Italy
right.
has rugged type play. We just kick the ball around. So there's a lot of similarities in terms of foundations, right? The same way they teach like young and talented how to defend and all that stuff, it's similar. So I think it's more doctrine based, and I think that's probably where I think that's what they're going to try to focus on because yeah, if it was just to win quick success, they probably can go and get somebody out there, but I think it's a whole philosophy they're going to try to implement down the chain
But
because it has to be
uh,
that
but
it has
then
to
the
be.
but I still feel though with in terms of the national team, I actually agree with your point, 100%. And so I'll change my answer to yes for Guardiola if that is their reasoning for sure. But the problem is at club level, like club
But
level.
I have an argument for that. But go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead, because I'm pretty sure you already know what I'm going to say, so you might as well just go
No,
into your argument.
so club level, right? So club level, let's look at let's look at let's look at I like taking France as an example. I grew up in the French system world. I like looking at Clairefontaine, right? When they created Clairefontaine, they cared less about clubs. They cared less about that. The way they created a pipeline, it was a center of excellence. Even Morocco did the same thing. These people don't have like the top six, seven, eighth league. They have a center of excellence regarding to the national team. How are we going to get pipeline to the national team? And it's going to trickle down on the league. Either the league start exporting these talents to other clubs, that's not the problem. Maldini's priority is on the FIGC, right? And it's going to be how you create that pipeline. How do you create those guys? What they did? Where do you think Mbappe got all his top training from? Mbappe got all his because he was part of Clairefontaine. The Thierry Henry, they were part of Clairefontaine, not their club. The club was a second factor. So
So is that
Clairefontaine,
like
what
its
it
own
was,
system?
so Clairefontaine, what it is like that center of excellence for the national team, where like players go, it's like a school abroad. And then on the weekends, if you got to go back to your club, they'll send you back out to your respective club. But especially when you're really young, you're there. You're part of it. Like Ben Arfa, all these people come from there. Zidane comes from Clairefontaine. When France missed out on once they missed out, because they cleared Clairefontaine in 1988 at the end of the 80s. At the end of the 80s, 10 years later, they won the World Cup. They showed that it works. Norway did the same thing. They didn't focus on the Norwegian league.
Yeah, but French clubs will play their
No, it's
youth
fine,
players.
but at the time, Roy, it wasn't with that in mind, or oh well, how it's going to do. Because if that thing start panning out, you're going to see. If that thing start panning out, yeah, if that thing start panning out, you're going to see.
When
It's
did they
going to
start
trickle
this
down.
Clairefontaine thing? When did they start?
Clairefontaine started in 80, 88,
Okay, so
88,
they got
89.
and they got results 10 years later.
10 years later, yes sir.
So so
But it has
so
it's going to take time.
but
yeah.
That's what we need.
but
Norway did.
the
So
problem
I
is
found out right.
the the problem
Good.
is that the French national team and the league itself was not. Yes, it was in the considered a top league, but it was like a fodderized league. It ain't the same like how like in the 80s and 90s Italy was the best. So their mentality is it's going to be hard to implement it. Even though I think they should do something like that, but it's going to be hard to
So so
implement
so
it
here
because
so
in
so
Italy's mind is they're
no, no, but here's what they
yeah
did though. They did. It wasn't just for the players. What Clairefontaine did, what the French Federation did, they started creating more football pitches, right, based on their budget, right, in all the banlieue, like in the neighborhoods of Paris, right. They started like, yo, we're gonna put a pitch there. Whoever's a coach, sign up. If you feel like they're a coach, we'll pay for you to go get your license at that lower level. That's literally what they did. So a bunch of people, when signed up, all got their coaching license and went back to that neighborhood. They were certified by UEFA to be able to train these little kids. It's a trickle down effect. That's the same. What's the biggest problem in Italy? The pipeline, people in the Campania, right? In the southern region of Italy, especially in those rural areas, connecting them to the north. That's the biggest struggle that Italy has. And I've listened to a lot of Italian players. They said that's one of the biggest struggles. How do you connect? Because a lot of the talent of Italy is in the south. How do you connect that to those northern teams and all that stuff? And to how do you
but
create that gap? Go ahead.
but okay I understand I understand everything that you're saying, but those French teams at the same time also played those young players. That's the problem with Italy is that they're not playing the young players.
No, but
And the, and the fact that like we just talked about perception, instead of waiting 10 years to develop and get these guys in and get a system, the perception is I don't feel like waiting, I'm just gonna go buy a player instead in
yeah,
place
but
of a player who's in relative relatively the same age.
yes, you can. I'm not saying the federation can influence directly Serie A, but they're going to have a sit down. Like these problems you're thinking around, they're all thinking about the same problem around because the same thing, right? I've seen nations started doing it. The same way for Norway. Norway did that 12 years
Yeah,
ago when they missed out on the
right,
Euro. It
right.
wasn't for them to play in the Norwegian league forcibly. They just know the center of excellence. Morocco did it. Morocco center of excellence, Mohamed Sis, right? That's where Unai and all these guys come from. They weren't prompt to be like, oh, they have to play in the Moroccan league. It's like you'll create that. I'm pretty sure the federation is going to create the proper outlets for whatever play. If you're without club or anything, they can negotiate. They can be facilitated out there without obviously tampering with a player if he belongs to a club. But I think once you have that plan on paper, it's going to be a trickle down effect, Nathan. Either they play in Serie A or they don't play. If they're good enough, they're going to have a club. Like the agents are going to see, they might be out of Italy and all that stuff. But again, I'm focused on the national team. Yeah,
Right.
it's out of
In
Serie A's control, but it's just
right. In
from the
in
success of.
regards
Mhm.
in regard the national team, yes, I agree because the players they'll still be playing, in other leagues,
Yeah.
but the problem is like the national team will be fixed for sure. Like that's on I completely agree with that. But now it comes down to we're talking about like at the club level. What do those Italian players do when they're not part of the system that is going outside of Italy to find those players?
Yeah, but I think that's when you bring in a Pep. That's why I say the Pep thing with Leonardo and all that. They're bro. These are smart people. I think I think they're gonna cover those intricacies. They're gonna cover all those issues. Like I'm a firm believer in that, and I
Yeah.
think that's where they're leading. Like they're not Pep is not gonna come here and be like, oh, well, Serie is not playing. They're gonna see that. Hold on, give me a second, guys.
Now, I agree. I understand what Clint is saying, Roy. My only problem is the clubs are not, for whatever reason, they aren't patient enough, and they don't seem to care about developing the next
Yeah,
Totti or Del Piero. Like they just don't care about it.
yeah.
That's my only problem. And yeah, we can find players outside the league, like
Doesn't the Italian Federation isn't the Italian Federation over Serie A in terms of like body?
No,
Isn't that the highest authority?
not the club's businesses though, or how
The
to
club's
or
business, no, but Serie A as a whole though. Like Serie A falls under like
like
FIGC, right?
yeah.
if they make a rule, they got to follow it,
So you
right?
start making the rule, yeah, you start implementing the rules today. Easy. I don't care
What
about club
rules?
business.
But they already did the rules.
Yeah, but that
What
was the
rules?
old people. But I'm
But
talking
what
about now.
rules? Which
No,
rules?
rules in terms of like probably a percentage of certain Italian players have to be, you
They
know,
already have that.
Homegrown. Hmm. Oh, you mean more strict rules?
more strict rules to the homegrown talent.
Okay.
Because it's in the good of the nation that can be done. And I think Maldini taking that, it's really, I'm telling you, like, not going to be imminent, but as long as it going forward,
Yeah.
it's going to be that because all the successful national teams, that's what happened. You know, that's what happened. Because even for Spain, right? Even for Spain, you look at Spain. Spain is not good because, or the clubs, right? Yes, it plays a part, but most of Spanish people, even the first Spanish team, even the first Spain team, right? The one that went '08 Euros, or '08 Euros on 2010 World Cup. I watched the 2003 World Cup. 2003 World Cup. Iniesta, I think Iniesta ended up being the best player actually in there. All these guys, like there was a strategy where it all starts at the national level and it trickles down. Yeah, the clubs are gonna be the club. Madrid wasn't getting that. Yeah, you had your Raul and all these guys. We start seeing the new guys coming on. It's the national team pipeline. And when I say it trickles down, you have consistent time playing there. The talking heads are
I
talking.
don't think I
Seria's
agree,
talking to
man.
FIGC. I'm just looking at because we're speaking about the success of now. We're not talking about success of Milan, right? So the success of the national team is going to national team controls that success. And I think if once they're able to do their little center of excellence, they're good enough. They're going to be bought. I promise you that.
Okay.
And I
But
think that wasn't.
I have
I
a
don't.
completely different idea.
But go ahead, bro. That's just my mind take, my opinion.
Okay. No, no, no. It's. I totally get it. I this is my opinion. I don't think Milan need. I don't. Milan. I don't think Italy needs to do a long-term revolution or anything like that. I think all Italy needs to do is freaking develop players and let them play. And for me, now that I think about it, the only way to do this is to get the government involved, like they did with the growth decree, and incentivize the clubs through tax breaks. And that will get the fucking clubs to get Italian because that's what they care about. The clubs
No,
just
no,
care
yeah,
about saving
you're
money.
right. You're right. No, and you know what? I forgot to mention the French government did get involved with France, so it wasn't just a Clairefontaine thing like the FFF. The French government, it was in partnership with them, where they did something similar in terms of like having more pitches. They understood having more pitches in France and having these kids that are really talented in those suburbs of Paris playing more, at least a little bit structured would have benefit them. That's what they understood. They're like the trickle down effect. With a pool, you create a pool of talent. We know we're gonna get 20, 30 good players out, out of there, right? Because in Italy, there's a lot of Casanos out there, right? Casanos from Bari. I heard the way Casano used to be playing by a castle, like in the rural area. Now, how many people that are probably as good as Casano didn't have opportunities, right?
right.
Because Bari's in the south. So if everything is structured around it, you have all these guys. Like I said, it's just creating the proper pipeline through the national team. Forget the clubs. Instead of because the problem in Italy lately or the past few years where we've been so bad is oh We need to get a good player that's in Serie. Yeah, yeah, they're not playing obviously. Who is the player for the national team that's good that we can go and get? That we know
Okay,
that's gonna be our guy.
so now my next question then comes
Yeah.
to um, player price, because every single time we hear something about Italian players, oh, they cost too much. They cost too much. When you look around the world, that's, the starting price for a very good young player is gonna be 30 million. Like that's just how it is everywhere else. So how do you explain to Italian clubs that they're gonna have to deal with that?
Yeah, and I mean, I agree with you, buddy. Like I agree, but
Because
for me, it
be-
just
because
looking at the
we
recent.
can do the pipeline, we can do everything that you suggested, we can do everything that Roy suggested, but when it comes to actually purchasing Italian players,
Well,
it's
the,
still not going to happen because no one's
well,
going to want to pay
Yeah,
40 million for a
hold
20
on,
year old.
hold on.
that's gonna be more of a Serie A argument compared to like the Italian league, the Italian national team argument.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but it is, but that is the
This is like
biggest
the later
problem.
thing,
Serie A is the biggest problem. But again,
right?
tax breaks, like they had, do literally the opposite of the growth decree, and all of a sudden you're gonna see a swarm of Italians from the just playing Serie A. Do the opposite of the growth decree. Do the growth decree, but instead of doing it for foreigners, do it for Italians. And all of a sudden, these clubs are going to start to pay the money because they're going to be saving lots of money on salaries and that kind of shit, or on tax breaks. And I think that's how you solve that problem.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like everything is going to be a problem, and they need to get some of these older minded thinking um guys out of the Italian federations and things like that, because they're the ones that are slowing everything down. Um, all these ideas are good ideas, but if you have these old ass fuckers still in there, this shit ain't ever gonna happen.
Because when you because when you look at France, right? When you look at France, you gotta understand, bro. Like when you look at all even these African nationals, a lot of them come from Club Fontaine at the younger age. So didn't mean they all played and started in France. No, they all went across. It's just like, whatever club can get you, like it's almost like, and I'm speaking from a national team's perspective. Yes, Serie A is gonna be Serie A. We can get into that later, but I think you it's gonna be easy. I want Pep. Going back on the Pep conversation, reimagine the philosophy of Italy. Not they don't have to give us a Spanish completely. It can be a hybrid, but we need to move into modern times, and I think that's what he's here for. Because once he communicates that doctrine, he communicates that out there and all that stuff. It's gonna be followed through the national team because that's what Maldini probably is focused on. Meaning, people at the U17 level are playing at the same way of U15. They're playing in the same system, same format, all the way up to the senior level. That's what Spain does. And I think that's what's on the path. And we can do this here, I think. I just don't want to mix oranges and all that stuff.
No, I
As
don't
long as they
disagree
do
with
that,
that. I don't
that's
disagree with that.
that's it. And then you plug like the moment's not gonna be too big for you now when you show up because you're playing the system. Because you look at Spain, it's the same thing.
As far as Pep, I'm against it because I'm really adamant on the fact that foreign coaches just don't work. Because not because I think that, because history says that. Like
Well, Roy, I want to ask you a question in regards to that, because we kind of think similar. What if they're just bringing in Pep just so that way he can get the more progressive ideology
And that's what I
going,
think it is.
and
That's what I think it
training, and
is.
right, and possibly bringing up the new set of
I'm,
Italian coaches that think more progressively, so that way they can take over in the future.
well, then bring
Pep
in
coming.
this. Then bring in
Listen,
the Zerbi. Bring
no,
in the
Pep
Zerbi.
coming. Pep coming. I mean, again, Pep did. He grew up in Italy. He loves Italy. I mean, I think he started even over here in terms of like some of his coaching, like early years. Here's the thing: the Pep coming to Italy is the equivalent of Johan Cruyff. Is the club equivalent when Johan Cruyff took over Barcelona when he retired. Because Joan Cruyff is responsible for revolutionizing this whole tiki taka we're praising Spain is all Joan Cruyff.
Okay, but
Total
Right.
that's club
football. When he
football.
took
That's
over,
club
no,
football,
I
right?
know, but I'm saying it's the equivalent. It could have been like, oh, we're Catalan, like why are we digging this Dutch guy? Because we're from Catalonia, they're really proudful people. But
Yeah,
they
I think they're just
accepted somebody from
trying
a
to.
Dutch, and I think he's coming from. I'm looking at this signing as a philosophy based, not some trophy. I highly doubt it's that. I highly because for
Yeah.
me, try to win trophy now, it's a small patch. It's a small patch. It's a deeper one. The deeper one is how Italians think. How do we go forward? And I think
Right.
that's what he's coming for. That I literally when I saw that, I'm like Maldini talking to him. It's not like, oh, let's go get him to win trophy. If it's that, you can go and get you a Mourinho or whatever and win another fluke tournament, and we're back to square one again.
Yeah, because look at the young players that they were using in these past Italy games. This is the time for them to really learn a more attack minded philosophy because none of these guys have really been present in first team Italian football. So now is the time for them to actually learn something new while they're still green. And their age is going to play a big factor in Pep being there because he can work much better with the young players than these other guys.
Going back again. I don't want to keep going back again to France, but I think it's a best reference. But the Thierry and all that getting called for the 1998 World Cup, it wasn't. I mean, yeah, they were good in club, but it wasn't because they were like the best. But they came from Clairefontaine. They knew how they were. They knew like once they get them in there, like they're good, and that's what it is. Like you prioritize national team, like the club thing. You're
Okay,
good enough sometimes.
but
Yeah,
listen,
yeah,
listen. The thing is this: that in Italy, let's say a Club Fontaine in Italy, would it really convince the clubs to say, okay, I'm going to get these players that come from this Italian version of the Club Fontaine, or they're going to keep on going to Belgium and buy Jashari
yeah, yeah,
because he already played in the Champions League and he's
and
23
let them
years old.
and let them do that. Let them do
Okay,
that.
But
but
see,
then there's no development.
that's the
No, no, they
perception
still
that I
no
was
no.
talking about.
They still gonna be development because at the end of the day, your players can still be exported out. Though the problem is like you can't even export players, but you still if
I mean,
listen,
that's the other thing. If they get all
yeah,
exported out, which is something I advocated for, sure, sure, yeah.
right.
But I think Clint, I think what Roy is saying is like this doesn't. This only helps the national team because the Italian clubs are not going to wait for something like that. Like the French is completely different. They had no choice but to accept this and go with this as their project because they had nothing. Italy is completely different. The clubs are not going to buy them. So yes, the national team will be fixed for sure, but at the club level, it literally is going to do nothing for them. They're not going to buy them because they're going
No,
to
no,
be
no,
too
no, no, no.
expensive.
So yeah, and like I said, that would be in another call. We can get on the Serie A topic and we can look at nuances, right? And I hear you guys. Like I'm not going to sit there and refute, but
So
I'm
this just for
thinking.
the
I'm
national
not
team.
right now. I'm not thinking in terms of what how it affects Serie A. Like I can care less from a national team perspective. So I'm just focusing national team. How do you get
Okay.
Italy to perform better and all that stuff? The Serie A might play a big factor. You're right. If they're not getting game time, that's another thing. But if we just, I want to strictly stick one. Pep coming to Italy, why he's there, the
Okay.
philosophy in terms of like us gaining. Because again, let's do for example somebody at the use of because you guys also when y'all talking about Serie A, you're talking about first team play. We're only going to focus on first team play regarding national team if these young Italian players are due to play for the first team. Then we can have this conversation where Serie A is not playing them. But I'm sticking to the philosophy change. I'm sticking at the youth level. I'm sticking at the youth, like the U19 and all
Okay.
that. A lot of
I
them are
got a
still in
question.
Primavera. A lot of them are still in Primavera, right? Where they get game time, where they get playing time at those levels. I'm just saying. So
I got
that's
a
already
question for
there.
you, Clint. I
Yes,
got a
sir.
question for you in regards to that Clefonte.
Yes, sir.
And sorry if I butchered that because I don't speak French.
No,
But
no, you good.
uh, is it just like an academy, or is it like a club, or is it kind of like how in the U.S. we have the ODT team? Like, what is it like? How are these players
So
playing and
Clint,
like
Clint,
getting
Clint,
competition?
Clairefontaine, Clairefontaine belongs to the FF, the French national team. It's a center of excellence. Or the best player in the country for the national team. It's their pipeline. So usually
Okay,
people go there. It's like you go on board. It's an academy. You go on board, but it's for the national team, right?
but is it
Um,
separate from the youth national team, or is it, or that is the youth national team?
it is. That's where the pipeline come from. That's where the guys come from.
But isn't
Mbappe, Thierry
Italy already
Henry.
doing that?
I don't know.
Because like
That
we
I don't know.
already like we're getting a bunch of ethnically diverse players, so to speak, with Ekator, Ahanor, Yonto, Coyote. So I feel like aren't they already kind of well? I mean, they're not really going out of Italy since those guys were technically all in Italy. But I mean, is that kind of like a similar process? What you're seeing with that?
So
Maybe not to the
because
same extent, but kind of similar.
I don't know about it. Maybe Roy is good to respond on that when it comes down to if there's something similar. But
No,
it.
in Italy it's Coverciano. It's the
Mhm.
Coverciano system. But Clairefontaine is like a separate thing. It's like its own thing.
Yeah, I thought it
It's
was
like
like a whole different thing.
it's like an academy essentially.
It's the academy for the French national team. So the French national team, what they do, they go and they develop talent, especially in Paris. That's what they focus on, Ile-de-France, all Parisians in the smaller suburbs, and they bring them in at an early age. Meaning when they're there, Clairefontaine, they used to have. I used to watch an entire. They used to be a reality show, TV reality, like late 90s, early 2000s. I got to see Bernard Fire. You see that some of the top players before they become big, and they stay there. It's like study abroad, but it belongs to the French because that's also where France, like the French national team, trains on those grounds. By the way, Clairefontaine belongs to the FF. It's like the La Masia, but for the French football team. They identify youth talent for the French national team, so they
But
keep
but
them there. Mhm.
it is
Yes.
a feeder to clubs. It is a feeder to
Also,
French clubs.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, also, as well, yes. But their primary thing is for the French national team. So, Nicolas Anelka comes from there.
Right.
Thierry
But
Henry, Mbappe, and all these guys. Yeah.
okay, but all these players they started at Clairefontaine because right then they get in the clubs, then the clubs play them. That's the problem. That still remains a problem. In France, the clubs will play the French players. They will play the 19-year-old. They'll make him grow. They'll make him get his experience.
So
So
they
even if we had a Clairefontaine in Italy, we'd have to rely on
On the
foreign
clubs to
leagues.
play them.
no, but then
Right.
again, but the Club Fontaine, right? Like I said, it's young players that they feed into. Let me rephrase that. It's young players that they feed into now academies across you know, across 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 France, right? The feeding to can it's not players that they're building and they're like, hey, go go play in the first team now, and you're not gonna get this because they get those people young at Clairefontaine.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Thierry
yeah,
and
yeah.
all these guys, they
They
didn't
get them
show
young.
up. Yeah,
They're
they
kids.
show up there really
It's
young,
kids. It's
so
Clairefontaine is for
they
kids.
they feed them into the academies because and that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, if they have that in Italy, good, but you amplify. What I'm saying, you're not going to get all your talent out of it. Obviously, all top French talent didn't strictly come out of there. But I feel like when there's an enough pool, right? Because from my understanding, is most of the Italian talent that's in the South, they cannot make it up north. That's a big issue. And up north has the bigger clubs.
Well, I mean,
Your
I don't know if
Torino and all that stuff.
I mean traveling in Italy is very simple. Yeah, it's
No,
not very difficult.
I know, but in terms of like getting those talent, they said it's still an issue, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
Maybe
still
it is. Maybe it is.
it's still an issue
I guess it is.
because
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
because you think about all your big teams are in the north, like you said, getting foreigners and all that. Who's responsible for that? Your Milan and your Milan, your
Oh, but,
Torino of the world. That's what they do.
I mean,
Udinese too. Udinese is
it's
in the north.
yeah. A lot of the money is in the
Yeah,
north, so
it's in
that's
the
where
north.
the big clubs are. But even Roma has been pretty poor when it comes to Roma, Lazio, Napoli have been quite poor when it comes to developing players. Another thing is that if we look at the history of the national team, like the national team has always been composed specifically and especially from the three big teams, Juventus, Inter, and Milan, to the point where it doesn't even matter whether or not the other teams develop players. As long as Juventus, Milan, and Inter are the ones that are bringing in those Italian players, then the national team is competitive.
Right. Because those
Because if
players were playing Champions League, so they're getting
Because
a lot
we
of
can go in
competitive
Serie
experience.
another day, but the only thing I can say in Serie it's not even just Juve. Okay, back in the day, and that's my fuss. That's my fuss with that's my fuss with that's my fuss with the other Serie A teams. I scrapped the big three because football at the end of the day, right? For us that watch it, it's a pyramid, bro. Italy was good. Italy was always good when teams like Brescia were decent, right? When all these teams like Parma, all these teams were good enough, and then the big teams can come and take talent. But you don't have
yeah, that's right.
it's imperative for Italy for these lower teams to be good because that's where your top players and make the league better are gonna come from. Not buying
And
Gonzalo Ramos for 80 million out of fucking for somewhere. And that's why I
and
say
and even the smaller teams of it, they don't have. Look at the smaller teams, right?
right.
There's 11 against 11. The goalkeeper is Italian, and that's it. There's one goalkeeper is Italian. So how does that help anybody? How does that help the national team? Because the clubs can't buy anybody from those teams because there's no Italians to buy.
Or they're too
Like
Because
expensive.
Brescia used to have 7 or 8 Italians, and one of them was Pirlo, so you can buy Pirlo, right? Or whatever. Now they don't have that anymore, right?
and
They
that's why I
don't.
said it's imperative. It's imperative for at that level. So that's why I said like Maldini and them coming. I'm pretty sure they thought all these things through. Like yo, the next guy is gonna come from here. I think they thought all these things through. Where like yeah, these teams probably those are the teams you want. You know, to have all your young Italians be at right and these clubs and make it better. Like it would have been cool if Como had Italians and be like, yo, Como is the story, but there's a bunch of foreigners that are playing at Como. So their
But
story
these,
is a cool Cinderella story, but yeah, you're right in that thing. But I think, and going back again on the Pep, I think they're seeing. I'm a firm believer getting Leonardo and all these guys, because you gotta think about Leonardo. Leonardo's the architect of that PSG. Believe it or not, it probably failed with the big star play, but don't forget that PSG with Leonardo, they were forming the best players, bro. Let's not get this twisted. Yes, they were
yeah, but they
failing
also
at
didn't
the
care
top
about the
level,
money
but
though.
they were like the youth, Rabiot, like Kingsley Coman, Manya. All these people come from PSG. It's under Leonardo since he was over there. So identity, talent, and youth, and having a pipeline, national team or club, no matter what it is, because your Manya obviously didn't start for PSG, right? Coman, she got discarded and all that stuff, but nonetheless they came under that umbrella where like somebody like Leonardo, I think he's a smart man when it comes out to this football stuff. And Maldini going and picking him, I don't think Maldini is a serious man and I believe in his choices. The way he took Masada and all that stuff. So I think they're thinking this through in terms of like how they're going to identify youth and maybe how they're going to push that pipeline, that talent to certain academies. It doesn't have to be a Juve and Milan and Inter. We can care less because the league only gets better if these other teams become better. If everybody has Como aspirations, the league is going to get better. There's going to be more players to poach now for the bigger teams, and then we're back healthy again. But if
But
it's
then how do
not
you?
there,
But how do
there's
you?
nobody
How
you
do
can
you?
buy.
But how do you
There's
get
nobody you
past
can buy
the?
because
How do you?
look in France, right? Okay, France is not probably like the best league, but yo, one thing I'll say, we know France has talent. What has PSG been doing the last few years?
Well,
PSG also goes and buy a
But
lot of talent in France.
okay, but PSG, yeah, PSG has a lot of money, right? But I think even one thing that I didn't know and I learned from Jerry, crazy enough, is that France doesn't even have TV rights, or so
Yeah,
That
that's his as a
means
piss poor. Yep.
that means that the clubs don't have money to go and buy Jashari, and the clubs are forced to play the 19-year-old so he can grow,
Exactly.
and that's it's almost that what needs to happen to Italy. We need to get to a point where we're like we
They
don't
have
have the
no
money
choice.
to buy. Yeah, we have no
They have
choice.
no choice. That's what I said. The government, like I think Maldini
So
and
so
them need
what
to
they
have a
did.
sit down with the clubs and that way and
Yeah,
tell them that they
and
have to.
you're right, but like it's for me. I think like again, I think the French model for me could be easily implemented in Italy, especially young. Forget about let your U19, let the other things run their course, but those 12, 13-year olds, you start finding them now. You know, you play for the local club, kind of like like Mbappe. Mbappe used to play at FC Bonzi, which is a local club from like the Parisian banlieue. He's part of Clairefontaine. They push him towards the Monaco Academy, and that's the direct hand of Clairefontaine. Again, the center of excellence. Same with clubs like Glenn and all that. So it's almost like FIGC probably has a partnership. It might sound like privilege, but it's a partnership. You create a pool like, hey, you set these players from the center of excellence in your academies. There might be incentives. Who knows? And then from there, because you're not pushing them to go play first team football, but like in the academies, and then whatever happens there, because you know what type of regiment training that's probably going to be coming out of there. But I think you might all players might not succeed, but if you can get two or three top players out of your system, it's working. Because with soccer is all in margins, and that's where I'm coming from saying all of this, and that's why I'm saying I don't think right now I don't think Italians care about try to win the next World Cup right now. I think it's just to play fundamentally change with certain things. And I think because are people more upset Italy not qualifying through Italian fans more upset of Italy not qualifying for tournaments, or they're more appalled by the way of play? And I think it's more the way of play that really pisses off people.
Mm.
And I think that's where we're at. And because Italy deserves and has the right to be there with the greats. I mean, Italy is a great national team. It doesn't feel right when Italy is not a World Cup, but then Italy being at the World Cup has to be properly because 2010 and 2014, I don't even remember Italy's system of play there, but that shit was so shit. That's something I just scrapped. For me, Italy World Cups is since 2006. I don't look at 2010 and 14. It was just like awful.
But
So
2012 with
I will
Prandelli was
agree.
pretty good. 2016 with Conte was good.
it was a
Yeah, but
decent
that's
run.
the
Yes.
Euros
I-
though. That's the Euros.
But every year they did the Euros, they found the right
Oh,
alchemy, the right solutions. The
But
the World
it was
Cup
still a
years,
patch, right? Yep.
the World Cup years, they got the wrong every single one. Because I think Conte, with the way he was playing in 2016, probably would have qualified for the World Cup. The way Prandelli got to the final, maybe he could have qualified. Then Mancini didn't qualify. So Mancini is an example of one that did well in Euro and didn't qualify. I wonder. Anyway,
so then,
guys,
It,
Roy,
listen.
who would you pick then, Roy? Like, what would be
yeah, go ahead,
your
My
answer?
pick, my pick,
Yeah.
Can it,
probably Baldini at this point, and do what Spain did with La Fuentes,
Yeah. You said
yeah,
who
that
is
can
the
be a
coach?
shout. That
You
can
said
be a
who is the
shout
coach?
too.
the
That can be a
U21
shout.
coach.
Okay, but so then here's my question. So you're using him for the actual coaching, not like in
That can
regards
be a shout.
to
That can be a shout. I think, but for me, De Zerbi would have been good. At this
Yeah,
at the
does that be?
national team.
Listen, I did the research earlier just to make sure. In the history of football, in Europe, only one team ever won with. And I know you said it's not about winning, but the only team that won was Greek,
small.
was Greece,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's it. In South
Auto Real
America,
go.
in South America, and they have thousands, way more Copa Americas than Euros because there it's more
With
frequent.
Sampioni,
Only
Argentina.
only three foreign coaches have ever won the Copa America. So it's like to me, it seems like if you're going in for the win, foreign coach just should be a no because the history tells you that it doesn't work. But if you want to say okay because you want to change something, then that is different. If you're going there with different intentions than winning,
Right.
maybe that can be
But
different.
yeah, but I think Pep is definitely it's definitely like a philosophy issue because I think they do agree. Like Italy has a philosophy, you know, Italy has a philosophy issue. So I think, yeah, I think it's a philosophy issue in terms of like it's Italy definitely needs to catch.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Did you see Vinicius? Okay, so we'll see what happens with this. I think we will
Okay.
find out this week who the coach is going to be.
Okay.
Uh, one more thing here. Did you see Vinicius Junior's new look?
Yeah, I saw you fucking shave his chin.
Yeah, he looks so different, man. Looks like a different human being.
I
Guys,
know.
Vinicius Junior's had a facelift. He looks like
That's just it. That's probably what he was thinking about.
completely different now.
Yeah. That's probably what he was thinking about, which is crazy. Yeah,
Have you
but
ever
yeah,
seen
man.
Have you ever seen Michael Oliza's Instagram page?
No.
Weird. Weird. That guy is so weird. Check out his Instagram. Guys, if you want to see something really weird, check out Oliza's Instagram. It is so strange.
Interesting.
I mean, I like that about Oliza. I think that's cool. Very eccentric.
Uh huh. Hold on,
All
hold
right.
on. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, no, no. You want to say something? You about to cut off, right?
Yeah, yeah. I gotta go
Yeah.
now.
Okay. No, it's for sure, man. Well, let's do another live. I mean, the league is approaching soon,
Oh, yeah.
so
I'm
we
gonna be
can do
doing
those.
those.
And
Yeah.
yeah, man. But yeah, it's nice talking, man. We'll come through and yeah,
Oh,
we'll
actually,
chat
why don't we
more.
finish this video first?
Okay, bet.
Let's
All right.
finish this video. Have you seen the training videos?
No, I have not. I've been World Cup. I'm just recovering from the World Cup.
The World Cup, huh?
Yeah, I'm still in World Cup mode. I'm like,
How garbage was Brazil?
yeah, Brazil is just insane. They're like, man, I don't know. They just need to
Hey,
stop
hey,
going to the Premier League.
hey! Don't criticize them, dude. Don't
Oh,
criticize them.
oh, I will criticize Brazil, bro.
It's
I mean, you
illegal
got
to
Vinny,
criticize
and
Brazil.
then Vinny getting a facelift makes it worse.
Dude, the Brazil banter with Eric has been so
I know
amazing.
it's crazy. Yeah,
It's so fun. Oh, here we go. Damn,
yeah,
it's a big,
but no, it's it's crazy.
that's a big guy, the trainer. Can you see the video?
Yeah, and I'm looking at it right now. Looking at it right now. Yeah, I'm looking at it
So who's
right
that
now.
player Fiorentina signed? Who's that guy? Who
Oh,
was he in the?
Chris now, the little ranking. I don't think he's gonna stay there long though.
Who was he in Ivory Coast? Like, did he score goals or?
No, 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 no. He didn't. He performed. He first came in the scene during the AFCON, and people really like enjoyed him. Like he came on the AFCON, so he was playing. So he came out from France, like Bastia in France, and Transport Sport in Turkey. They bought him for 2 million. They bought him for 2 million because they saw in him. He's only 19. He was like a Ivorian talent that we're like, yo, wait. People are talking about Jomonde and all these guys. To me, he was the kid. The way he plays, the way he protects the ball, because he plays kind of like I don't want to say like a box. He's mainly like a box, right? More of a number six role, but the ball he's really technical, can
Who would
dribble.
you compare him to?
But I can compare him to early Fabregas.
Oh,
Early Fabregas. Not as it'll be a good comp. Younger Fabregas, because younger Fabregas was a defender, was a he was a defensive midfielder, right, before he became, but he was so technical that he moved forward. That's how Inao is because he's not a number 10 or any of that. Like, he'll get the ball, knows how to protect the ball, knows how to distribute the ball very well. I mean, you'll get to see a Serie A. You'll see for yourself. I mean, he's still 19. So, and I told, I didn't want to like mark it or sound too biased, but I'm like, yo, that's the player. That's the player. That's definitely like the player to watch. But I don't think if he plays that the way I'm expecting him to play, he doesn't stay at Fiorentina, bro. Fiorentina's gonna make their money back. They're gonna make their money because look, a kid in less than 2 years, and I spoke to a lot of Turkish people. So each time I say Ivory Coast, they're like transfer sport. They're like, oh, now they love him there. They didn't even want him sold. And you can go watch his highlights a little bit. You'll see
Can y'all still
you
hear
see
me?
the talent. Yes, yeah, I can hear you,
Okay.
Nathan.
Yeah, yeah,
You
we
can
can
All
hear
see
right.
you.
his you can see his talent, and they did not want to let him go. So you look at that Turkish team buying him for 2 million from France, from Bastia, and now they're selling him literally after the World Cup for 30 million. So it tells you with the trajectory that like yeah, this kid is not he's not to fuck with. Like I think once he grows in his man body and he progresses his game, he doesn't get distracted. He's gonna be one of the top players, man. He's gonna be one of the best. Because the way he plays, man, the way he recovers the ball, the way he distributes the ball, it's really smart. Not try to do too much complicated. So obviously he's young. You can see the lack of experience, but he's good. He's good. He's good. He's really good. He's really good. And he's the most
This
loved
training
accent.
session, is this the most recent one?
Yeah, or I think so. It's the most recent one on the official channel. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
Nathan, you watched all the games. So you don't know who Chris Inao is? Inao, like the Ivorian kid. You never seen him play?
You talking about during the World Cup?
I mean, even during the World Cup, but even just in general in the Turkish league.
Oh no, I don't really watch the Turkish league like that unless it's like one of the big games.
You'll see.
Was
He's
he
at
with?
Fiorentina now. You'll have
Oh,
you
did
have
he just
eyes.
join?
Yeah, they bought him for 30 million from Transport Sport or whatever the name of the league is. Actually, Roy, you can put a little bit of his highlights.
What's his name?
What
Um,
position is
uh,
he?
he played. I don't want to say a cam, bro. I don't want to say box to
What's his
box
name?
though. Inao, so INAO. Ulai, so OULAI.
O U.
Yeah, OULAI. Yeah. Tell me what y'all think. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but I don't think so. The kid plays well. Not me turning into Hans now or Anwar. Anwar will sell you any Moroccan there is in the history book, bro.
Hey man, the Moroccans are good, especially like that
Yeah.
midfielder Bouadi, I think is what his name
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Hey,
Boadi. Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
Europeans.
Boadi's.
they're another country that's taking their development very seriously.
Okay. Yeah. No, they are.
Is their
So that's them
system?
right
Is their
here.
system? Is their system kind of like the French
Yeah, they have.
system?
Yeah, yeah. Before you came, I told Roy. Yes, they have what they call the Center of Excellence Mohamed Sis. So Center of Excellence Mohamed Sis. That's where Unai comes from. Unai literally comes out of that, and there's like two other players.
Okay,
Yeah, they have the same
yeah.
pipeline. Yep. So you see how in small spaces where he does, like he doesn't lose the ball.
Mm. Press proof. Oh, he's like a little Modric.
Mm.
Oh, nice. Clever.
And I've seen him play live too for the Norway game. You know, he's a little bit quiet, but like some of his ball movements was just like just We haven't had a
This was,
midfielder like this since Yaya Toure, bro. And he's only
but this is
19,
his
by the
first
way.
World Cup, right?
Since Yaya Toure?
Yeah, he's 19. He's 19 years old, huh? Hmm.
Damn, that's a big shoes to fill. That Ivory Coast was really strong with the influence in the team. Yeah, it was good. I like him.
And it's off the ball. It's like how he gets the ball away because he plays usually in front of the defense or they'll put in a double pivot. Kind of like what Ben said kind of was. It's kind of like that.
Yeah,
So I don't know what he's going to play at
that's
Fiorentina.
who he reminds me of. Actually, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking, kind of reminds me of Benacer. Yeah.
Italy is a different beast. But then again, at 19, he still got time to push up. You know, those are people that he almost benched Casey in the national team. But since Casey's the captain, so he plays alongside him. But yeah, bro, that's our people talk about Diomande and all that. I'm not really. I like him more than you know Diomande. I think Diomande is gonna do well, but Diomande comes. He was out here in Florida. He went to high school down here, which is crazy.
Oh, what
Hmm.
American?
Yeah, Diomande. Yeah, Diomande that played for the Ivory Coast. They try to like inflate his price.
Is he
It's from.
American or
I mean, no, no, no.
was he
He
born
was
in
born
America?
in Ivory Coast. He was born in Ivory Coast, and he actually grew up there. He came here, I think, his last 2 years of high school. And then from there he went for trials. Yeah, but
Mm, mm, mm.
I call him like a little Iniesta for an Ivory Coast. But we'll see at Fiorentina, man. I'm excited to see him there. It's like the moment is never too big for him, and I think that's what we like. Cause even all Ivorians, they got to discover him for the first time. Nobody saw him play was during the Afcon when he came in, and then once he came in for the like I think the second half of one game, that was it. He became a starter automatically.
Yeah, he's good.
Yep.
He's
So
good. Well, only 19, huh?
yeah, on 19. He's real 19 too. You
Oh,
can see
he's
in
real
his face.
19.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Trust me.
How sure?
He a baby, man.
He's a baby.
He doesn't have
What about
Odysseus
this?
age.
What about Seido Fini? Do you think he's actually his age?
Who?
Seido Fini.
I don't know who that is.
Seido Fini is I think he's Ivorian. Is that an Ivorian name?
No, it probably is. It probably the way you're pronouncing it is.
He plays
What
for
does he
Italy.
play?
He plays
Oh,
for
he plays
Italy,
for
but he wasn't born in Italy. He was born in
Ivory
I
Coast.
I can't
Uh,
remember if it was Ivory Coast or somewhere else.
okay.
And he's apparently 18 or 19.
Sure. That's the favorite age. Um, Africans love giving themselves when they come
But
to
he's really
Europe.
good. He's very skillful.
All of a sudden, all of them are 18, 19. You ever heard the joke Ronaldo made on Taribo West?
Yeah, yeah, I saw it.
That interview, it cracks me up. See, I'm not the only one saying that. Sure, Ronaldo was like, yo, what the fuck? This dude is still
Oh, the
19.
stream cut. The stream cut.
All right, cut. That's cool. That's cool.
They cut the
But yeah,
stream.
man, so that's him right here. Yeah, Chris.
We can see it, but the stream is cut.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player.
No,
He's a good
he's
playmaker from the back.
yeah, he can control. And I think Italy, for his progress, his development, because Bournemouth is trying to
Yeah,
buy him. I'm like, bro, the way
it's a
you
good
play,
team.
you go to places like Italy or you go to Spain. If you want to be super technical, you go to the Premier League, they're gonna destroy your body. You're gonna be running up and down, and it's just not like. I'm not saying you can't make it in the Premier League, but it's only a few teams that's been only a few players that were successful that play like your Modric and all that. Like it's only a few because I feel like in English Premier League when you go to these lower mid-tier teams, they're usually like English coaches that have no tactics, and I feel like it's just tough to develop under those circumstances, unless you have like a foreign coach. But English people tactically are not good.
I mean, they've never been that good.
And to and for you to think the last time an English coach won the Premier League is more than 30 plus years ago, bro. It's insane. It's an insane stat, bro.
There was
This
never an English
Tanya
winning
wants
coach.
us to check this German kid.
Because Fergie is Scottish, so it has nothing to do with them, and they're not good. Like they're producing talent now, but it's just. And I think
Who?
England
Who?
too. In No, I'm talking about England in general. Like I think England too. They're missing.
Gee, this is a baby. He's 17.
That's when they need to start playing.
So this,
Mhm.
They shouldn't wait until they're
so this,
19 or 20. If
so
they're
this
good at 17,
guy
they need to play.
is playing for Udinese. He's a defender.
I'll buy any Udinese defender any day.
Yeah, but Milan's worst nightmare.
Worst nightmare.
Oh, this is with the Primavera. Let's check some. Are there any Udinese highlights? Did he play last season?
I don't even think I watched it. It was so bad. Even okay, look in Argentina. You know what they did now? The law they just passed in Argentina,
What
like
law?
in Argentina. Hmm?
What
So
law?
in no, in Argentina, they've mandated any player if no player has started like decides not to sign like their first contract if it's not with an Argentinian team because they got a lot of talent that gets exported out, right? They not playing for the national team. They can forget it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's what they do. Yep. Uh-huh. Not long ago. Not long ago. Unless sometime this year, last year, yeah. So it's like you don't play. Your first contract is not a professional Argentinian team. You're not. It's also it incentivizes not only Argentinian team to help them play for them also get the money and revenue. But I'm like, damn, y'all would not have Messi if y'all doing this shit. But again, because remember Messi, no Argentinian club wanted to take him. So,
Yeah, Messi is just extra, extra,
but
extra
they got this
short,
new
man.
kid. Hey, but they got their new prodigy, Kiki Ramos, the Haitian-born kid. He's black.
What about that Nico Paz?
No, bro, that Kiki Ramos, he's the one doing buzz. He's going for the U17 right now. Like he's there. Like people are talking about him all across. First black Argentinian player to be in the national team.
Oh, I
I
know
mean,
what
not
you're
the
talking about.
first,
Oh,
I know what you're
that's not
talking
the
but
about.
first. This is not the first, dude.
no, the
I know who
goalie they
you're
had a
talking about
black
now.
goalie. They had a black, but this kid is black,
No,
bro.
they had a
Like
lot of black players, bro.
no, when you say a lot, give me a name
I
and we'll
mean,
look him up.
almost.
Yeah, you
They
can't.
must have had
the
maybe five.
the
You're an idiot.
other the other last black player to play, I think it was a goalie back in the '70s, bro. They haven't had no black player anyway. Yeah, but this kid is Haitian born, but again, he's you know Haitian parents, but I think he's born in Argentina. Yeah,
I think
but
I know who
he's
you're
good.
talking about now. I
Yeah,
saw some highlights from him.
yeah. So he was yeah he. Then what happened to Ziroli? Where's Ziroli playing now?
He should be a Milan.
Is it?
I thought he was getting loaned back out again.
But did it happen already? I don't. I don't think it happened. Or maybe it did.
I don't think he's gonna pan out.
Why not?
I just don't feel like there's a lot of belief in him. That's just the feeling I'm getting.
Well, they don't believe in anybody in that fucking club. All right, yeah, this guy's good. He's basically a Italian German. He plays for the German youth team U17 or U18.
Interesting.
Played for Udinese. Fahadinho likes this player.
Yo,
Somehow
Nathan.
this was.
Yo, Nathan. How you think America solves this issue for America to become competitive without going on the tangent? Like just short term
Oh,
fix.
it's easy. It's actually easy. Now that all these MLS teams have youth clubs, like youth academies, they need to have the youth. They need to have the clubs themselves pay for the academies like they do in Europe, and they need to allow people to play for free.
Yo, Alexi Lalas disregard.
Maybe starting, maybe
Alexi Lalas disagrees with you. Lalas disagrees with you. Lala said, "Who's gonna cover the cost?"
he's an idiot, so I don't really care.
You
The
saw what
clubs,
Ibrahimovic drew of him. You saw what Ibra drew, like on his like
no, I
going
didn't.
away. He said, "Mr. Steve."
No, I
I don't
didn't.
know if it's AI. I don't know if it's AI, but it looked like a real image, and he showed it to him. I want to believe this is AI, but I don't know. It was like a kid's drawing, then you like a kid drawing saying "Mr. Stinky at football," with the thing coming across, and they get it to Lawless. I'm like, Ibra got no filter, bro. This dude is stupid. But I'm like, dude, this shit cannot be real. Because if it's real, I'm like, what the fuck? Oh my god, Lawless,
No,
bro.
I think
Everybody
the club.
hates this dude. Yeah, he said it works. Said the system works. That's what he's telling us. So
All right, let's check Cisse. I'm so excited for Cisse, man.
hell yeah.
Alfajo Cisse. Is that a common name in Ivory Coast?
She says a northern name
No,
where Cisse can
Alfajo.
also. No, Alfagio, no. Alfagio, that's Italian. Because usually if you have
No,
a
it's not.
Cisse name,
That's not
when
Italian.
you have a Cisse name, it has to have a Muslim, like, first name, like Mohammed or,
Oh,
you know, like a typical.
Alfajo's not Italian though. I don't know what it is.
Oh, Alpha Joe. Alpha Joe, that's not even Ivorian. His parents probably grew up in Ivory Coast, but Alpha Joe, that sounds like he's from Guinea.
Ah, okay.
If it's Alpha Joe, then it means it's Guinea. But if his parents grew up in Ivory Coast, then it's a because the name Alpha is like Alpha. Yeah, Alpha. Yeah, that's not. That's more. And those type of guys from Guinea, Mali, northern part of Ivory Coast, they have a prototype. Like they're usually skinny, lengthy. Not all of them, but for the most part, that's how they are. Like your Yaya Toure, the Dembeles of the world, like they're all part of that. You know, those northern, they're just and they tend to be really technical players. And at Ivory Coast, most of our technical players are from the north, or sometimes from the west part of the Ivory Coast. That's where you get the most talent.
Mm.
Yeah, he looks like somebody from Guinea, dog. But he can be Cisse. I mean, Jibril Cisse was Ivorian
Oh
with
man,
his
that's not
dad, but the
bad.
name was hmm?
Gibrel Cisse. Is that a
Yeah.
French name, Gibrel? Gibrel?
Okay, stop, bro. That's like
I don't
Guinea
know,
as
for real.
fuck.
I don't know. It's not?
Jibril, no, bro. That's from Guinea, dog.
Oh,
No,
okay. I don't know. I know that
his
Nyongo is a Kenyan name.
bro. The Mexicans claim her to death, bro.
Nah, nah, it's a Kenyan
She
name.
was born in Mexico. Her first name is Lupita.
I don't know why.
Huh?
You stay right there.
You said what?
No, no, you're good. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. And what was he playing for Leche and Serie B?
Catanzaro.
Huh?
Catanzaro.
Oh, Catanzaro. Wasn't Catanzaro up like in Serie A not long ago?
Yes. Yeah.
Or he can easily become another. What's my boy name? The man that's still in Primavera. Shaka Traore, another Ivorian. This nigga, this dude's been 19 for the
for
past since
for
COVID.
20 years. It's been
Since
19 since.
bro, since COVID, he even 19, bro. I'm like, God, dude, does his age not go up? Like, it's almost like he stopped time, bro. Like, be for real, be for real. I'm
and
like,
and
how long
we
is he gonna stay in Primavera, bro? This is
and we
graduated
had
Primavera,
him for such a long time. We didn't do anything with him, man.
bro. He graduated Primavera 3 times, bro. He's still there. Holy
But I
fuck.
remember when we bought him, he was already playing first team football. So we
Yeah,
bought
with
him from
Bottomar.
first team and sent him to the Primavera, and he never graduated. Bro, they did him
This
dirty.
sent this sent that boy to the gulag straight up,
Yeah,
boy. You're
they did
not
him
coming
dirty.
back.
He never got to respawn.
Yo, now we don't know
Okay,
what
so
club he
right
is.
now he's in Palermo right now.
Yeah, of course. What? He's still 19. What's his age right now?
21.
And he's 21 right now, bro.
He's
Stop, bro.
21.
See, even that, like, it's hard to believe, bro. We had this dude since COVID. Sheesh.
Yeah, we had him. Yeah, that's right.
God damn, bro. Like, he 21 still. It's kind of like Kessie, bro. I remember this motherfucker playing um the AFCON U17, bro, back in fucking God know what year, just to find
Really?
out like, oh, Cisse is on, Casey is only 23. Like, bro, stop, just stop. Somebody was trying to tell me. I think I was arguing at the same. They're like, yo, he's 29. I'm like, bro, no, the fuck he not. He better not
Uh,
be 29.
no, I said that earlier because I checked it.
No, Casey is not 29. Is he?
That's what it
He has
Yeah,
to
says
be
what's
on.
his real
30.
age, Clint?
No, bro.
That's
He has to be 30. No. With his fake age, he has to be 30 right now. 31, bro. There's no
uh,
fucking way he's 29.
his stat sheet says 29.
What the fuck? Bro, I swear these people didn't stop time. Him and
Yeah,
Shaka. It's a Mandela effect, bro. Maybe
yeah,
I'm tripping.
29, born in December.
They either born in December or January.
So he becomes 30 this year.
Okay. Damn. After how many years?
After
Sheesh.
after
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 15 years, he just reached 30.
Bro, Kessie has been in the league since like 2015, bro. Like in City, all 2015, 16. Like, he was in the league for a minute.
Wow, he spent a lot of his youth career in.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Same with Amad Diallo before they sold him. Amad Diallo pretty much grew up in Italy.
Well, he came to Milan on loan. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they bought him. Damn, that's CC kid, bro. He got the move. You're doing that against City B defenders, bro? Huh. Then you got something.
Yeah.
Cause I'm not gonna lie, City B is the real gulag, bro. Ask
Yep.
Kamada and them people, but people go there to disappear.
Yeah.
KGB style. Sheesh. But this boy out here just like mistreating his elders.
Yep.
He's toying with them.
I think he's ready, bro.
Yeah, bro. If he can do that in Italy, and he has the physique,
Yep.
but depending what Amarim, Mr. Savant, is gonna come and do.
Right.
Like sometimes football is so simple, they wanna overcomplicate shit.
Mr. Savant. Fucking Amarin.
Yeah. Guys, help me, guys, so I can help you. Like any coach that starts with this bullshit, like bro, just
Help
get
me
the
so I can
fuck out
help
of.
you.
Yeah,
Right.
bro. Like no, like if there's any fight, I hope you start using words that like I hope or whatever. Like I'm like, all right, you're not a commander for real. You gotta demand people shit. I hope what? Then Leao and Theo will bully you, but Theo is no longer there to bully.
Yeah, right. That would bully the shit out of Amarin.
But there was minds on prostitution right now. That's why he didn't perform in the World Cup.
I mean, good for him.
I mean, his lifestyle going out with Zoe. I mean, you knew this dude. It was just a matter of time. They start getting these
Yeah,
bimbos.
they're party animals.
Yeah, you start getting these bimbos. You already know,
He
bro.
likes to
They.
party.
But the sneaky one is Tonali, because he looks like the upstanding citizen, but this boy is
Of course.
conducting fucking
Fucking a gangster,
gambling.
dude. He's a gangster. He's like the leader. He's probably the leader of a gang.
It's crazy that all of them, the Juve players and all that shit, they got their own little illegal activities going on. Yo, but what's up with that Italian guy that got killed? A journalist. What was he reporting on the mafia?
I don't know. I just saw the headlines. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Interesting. That's alarming.
Let me see.
Shoot, bro. But no, that's he said good. And he's a Milan player. But what about that Greek kid they want to buy? They're gonna buy him?
Rumors.
Now kids like that, I feel like they can perform well in the league. You know, people come from Mediterranean, but anybody coming from Western Europe, I don't know, dog.
Western Europe, like Spain or Germany.
Yeah, yeah. When I mean Western Europe, like German, like coming is usually, but when you get in Greece, people coming from Romania, Eastern Europe, all the way up there, or like from the Balkans, and usually they fare well in Serie A. I always felt like they do well, but of course, people from Netherlands used to have their time, but then the Netherlands right now, I don't know. Based on Ruud Gillet, he said the new mindset in academies he's not a fan of, and all the academies in Dutch football is like they play scared. Like they don't have. That's why they don't do well overseas because they have a weak mentality. Like they have the talent, but their mentality is really weak. And he said that's his biggest fuss with the Dutch. They don't adapt well, like overseas. And I'm like, it makes sense because look at all these Ajax system players. Your Delit. I mean, I saw Frankie De Jong, but even Frankie De Jong, is he the main guy in Barcelona? I mean, he's good. He's not the best player though. Um, I probably say right now the only one that has Grinta is probably Dumfries, to be honest.
Dumfries.
Yeah, because even what's his name, Gravenberg, when he left,
What about
when he
Brobe?
even Prabe, I mean, he's been going from club to club. You know, they haven't. Dutch people are supposed to be, spoken about amongst top players in the world, bro. They're not.
Remember when people, including me, were saying that Holland was going to win the World Cup?
Holland.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have if fucking Sorlov's stupid ass
Nah,
didn't.
that's Norway. I'm talking about Holland. Holland.
Oh, Holland, I did that. I did it because I don't know. I had a feel as a team they play well, but I don't know, man. I don't know what went wrong. I felt if they'd have went over the Morocco hump, like if they had to play other European teams, it would have been more challenging.
You know
I think it
what?
would have been more challenging.
Oh,
Because
Morocco kicked them out. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because Ronald Koeman is he's a good coach. I always felt like he was a good coach. I mean, he comes from that total football backyard. I mean, the Dutch they understand football. They understand football. I think it's more the mentality of players because the Dutch they put a proper product, on the field. The players are technical. They understand spaces and all that stuff. It's just I don't think the fact that they don't have a killer up front or like really killer players with strong mentality. That's the problem. That's the problem. Because you saw this World Cup was all about like how strong you are mentally, to be able to push forward. And I think that's been, you know,
You know what game surprised me the most in the World Cup?
which one?
Austria Spain.
Really? I didn't want to watch it because Usher for me, I don't know, bro.
I couldn't believe how easy it was for Spain to just beat Austria, because Austria is always a ugly
It's
team to play against.
it's an Asian team. It's an
Austria,
Asian
not
team.
not
No,
Australia.
I know. No, Austria's an Asian team. You still got
Asian.
no. It's an Asian team. Like
Oh,
they're Asian.
aging,
Yeah,
aging.
yeah. You still got what's
Yeah.
his name is still on there. What's that bad boy name? The
No,
striker.
they're beatable. They're beatable, but they're hard to play against, because
No, they are.
they always fight and they always do something. But it was so crazy how easy Spain made it look, dude. It was so crazy. I
No,
couldn't
no,
believe it.
and that's my point. That's why I said they're aging. Like a lot of their players on the field are old. They don't have new blood. Usher a couple of years back, they were decent, but then it makes me question so much of the guru or how much of a savant Ragnick is because he was in charge of it. He's the technical
He
guru
knows
of it.
stuff.
No, but he made everybody in Germany. Did you not see the interviews how they speak about Ragnick? From
Yeah, I know.
Tuchel to Klopp, like
He's
how
got
he's this
great
guy,
PR.
the next guy, and all that PR. I'm like, yo,
His PR
instructors
is
are
out of
not.
this world.
Yes, so for me, it's like okay, you. He said he wanted an Austria job so bad. You had an Austria from top to down, and this is the type of product you put on the field. I've seen Austria games. There's nothing, no playing style that I look at, and I'm like, oh, they play good. They play disgusting football.
Remember Flynn from the chat? Flynn?
Yeah, what happened to him?
I don't know. At a certain point, he decided to leave a chat. But he sometimes writes to me, and he's Austrian. He told me
Okay.
that in Austria, when Ragnick was being linked to Milan, in Austria, they were talking about how he was using Milan to get a better contract.
That's
For,
interesting.
that's what they're saying in Austria, that he was using Milan to get a better contract with the national team. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Because he's
All
part
right,
of the
guys.
Red Bull group, so it makes
Yeah,
sense.
the Red Bull. Yep. Well,
Yep.
listen, guys. I think
Yep.
that's enough for me. That was a
Yes,
long
sir.
day.
Yep.
We'll see you during the week.
Yep. For sure.
Let's
More
see what
news.
news comes out during the week, and we'll report on it.
Yep. Back to regular misery and misery football.
Back to Mina. That's right.
Milan misery. That's how you should call your channel. A misery Monday.
Misery. Hey, did you see? Remember how Rock wanted to start a channel called Football Uncensored,
Uh huh.
or Pierce Morgan started it?
Yeah, but then you also
Ooh.
want to do now Como channel trader.
Oh yeah, Pierce Morgan will start that one too. Let's see.
Yes. Piers Morgan will freaking send him strikes.
Right?
Such a controversial. He's such a Ronaldo Glazer, bro. I cannot listen to this dude, bro.
You don't like him?
Who? Piers Morgan?
Yeah.
I like when he speaks the political stuff and how he pushed people over the edge, but he's really hypocritical as a person. I feel like when it sides on his head, like, cause even with football, right? He'll has these strong takes, but then it comes to Ronaldo. When it comes to Ronaldo, he has cold feet. Now all of a sudden he can't talk, or it's like as an excuse, like. And then Ronaldo's gonna sit here and try to make us
Ronaldo.
believe that the Euro is better. It's
It
like winning the
is.
Euro is his biggest achievement. Winning the Euro is
No, no,
bigger than the
no,
World
no.
Cup. Like, let's
That's not
just
true. That's
stop.
not true. That's not true. But it's harder than the World Cup. I agree with that.
No, but he made it. He said that's his biggest achievement. He said that's
Yeah,
the
he said
biggest
it's the
achievement. He can
biggest
care less.
achievement.
Like, try to downplay the World Cup. Like, just
Right, right,
stop,
right.
bro.
That's cap. He's capping.
He is capping, like, for sure. You
Yeah.
sound like a boomer. Like, you just discovered the word and you
No,
just say,
a
yo,
few
he's
years
capping.
ago, I discovered it a few years ago. No,
Oh
no,
my God.
it's
You
been a
sound
few
like
years.
that. You're like, he's capping. Yeah,
He's
that's cap.
capping, bro. It's cap.
Or was it Riz Aura? That's the Gen Z new stuff now.
Aura,
Aura
aura,
farming.
aura
Yeah.
farming, mogging, ma- max, maxing,
Max Max looking
max
like
looking,
it's oh my God. I can't get
cap,
jiggy with none of this shit.
cap.
Well, Kevin was before that, anyways. That's not Gen Z,
Oh,
but but yeah, CR7 is finished, bro. His legacy, yikes. That door is closed. I mean, nobody ever argue about Messi or Ronaldo. Like, One went to three World Cup finals and one won. The other went to one semifinal in '06, and I was 14
Yeah,
years old at the time.
Clint, Ronaldo won a Euro, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, and then Messi won two Copa Americas.
I read
Yeah, but
Messi
the
went
Euros
five.
is better than the South Americans. You remember?
Yo, I had a question for y'all before y'all get off. Y'all think Yamal winning the Ballon d'Or this year?
No, no. Why?
No,
Why? No way.
Why not? No, he can make a. I mean, he was best La Liga player this year, and he
That's
won.
not enough.
He was best La Liga player this year. I mean, and he won La Liga, he won Super Cup, and then he won a World Cup. I know he wasn't the best player in the World Cup, but I don't
If he
know.
wins it, I don't think he deserves it.
no,
So who you think wins it?
he wasn't better than Dembele or
But
Vita this year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
what about if they
Both.
give it to Mbappe?
I mean, Mbappe, he Mbappe was garbage this whole year except for the World
No,
Cup.
No,
Nah,
I
no,
agree with
he won.
Nathan.
No, he
Dembele
was
and
no,
Vicha were
no,
better. Yeah, for sure.
no. They were better, but again, hear my out on this account. Since it's an individual award, it's not a team effort thing, right? This is fair.
right.
Mbappe was the best top scorer of the Champions League, best top scorer of La Liga, and best top scorer of the World Cup. Might have the name, so I'm just
Yeah,
putting out there.
there's an
Yeah,
Just
argument
saying.
there. There's an argument.
Yes.
There's an
So,
argument.
but my
and he's the
rebuttal to
first
that would
player.
be, but my rebuttal to that would be, he got those goals while stat padding in games that don't matter.
But it's fine. But the thing is this. Remember also the World Cup. The World Cup performance triumphs. If you know
But he
correctly,
didn't
every World
win
Cup
the
year,
World Cup.
it try no, but the World Cup, Madrid didn't win the World Cup and they gave it to him. Remember,
Won the Champions League. And the team that
he
won the
did
World Cup, their players weren't. Wait, did Modric win during the World Cup? Did he win it
no,
World Cup year?
no.
Well,
He won it.
then,
Yep, 2018. Yes, he did. And first beat them, and he did win the World Cup. Benzema didn't get it or nothing, and they gave it to him because of his performance in the World Cup and how he carried his
Was
team
it the
over.
World Cup or was it
Nope,
World
2018
Cup
is the World Cup year.
and also? Are you sure? Did they
the
win in
Champions League.
Europe?
No, they won the
Yeah, I'm pretty
Champions League
sure
in
they won.
2018. Yeah, they did. But
They
I'm
did.
And
saying the argument
they
can be
got to
made
the
on both.
finals in the World Cup,
Yeah,
didn't they?
yeah, they did.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did.
That'll get you the
So
Ballon d'Or. That'll
It'll
get you the
get
Ballon
it
d'Or.
got him a Ballon d'Or for that. So I'm just saying what Mbappe has an argument somehow. Yes, he might have not won, but he still made it to the semifinal,
The
and he got
strongest
the best
argument
award.
is Vicha and Dembele. Those two are the best players this
But
year.
they're not going to
yeah,
give it to Vicha, bro. Vicha is not even in the conversation. Like I've seen what the
It
betters are
should be.
projecting right now. Right now, what
It
the
should
betters are
be.
projecting, what the betters are projecting is Vegas 54% that Lamine Yamal takes it.
Ah,
I
it's
mean,
so
don't get me
fucked
wrong.
up.
I think that they
It
will
does
probably give it to him, but whether he
doesn't deserve
deserves
it.
it, I don't think so. He wasn't the
Yeah,
best player in Europe, and he definitely wasn't the best player
he was the
in the
best,
chick.
but he was the best. No, they made a decent run in the champion, but he was the best player of the La Liga this year, though.
So
That's the
what?
thing too.
That can't be enough. That can't be
So
enough.
okay, so how okay, so for Dembele, yeah, he won the Champions League. How did they give me? Was Dembele the best player in the Champions League this year?
He was one of the best. Yeah, I think so.
Him and
Yeah,
Beecher were.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
the
Him and
argument
Beecher were
can be made. But
100%.
again, the argument, what I'm saying is, you see now, argument can be both because all parties, all arguments we're
So
bringing for
yeah,
each
that's a good
player,
point.
they're
That's true.
lacking on one side. So it's gonna be really interesting who they give it to. It's gonna be
No,
really,
no, but
it's
I
gonna be
will
really
agree with
interesting.
you. There are arguments and counter arguments for every single person, for sure.
Like if Mbappe wins it, right? It's like okay, Mbappe win it. Okay, individual records they gave him individual award fine. If Yamal wins it, they look at the other aspects. Yes, he wasn't the best player of the World Cup. But he contributed to the Spain team, right? He contributes part of their success though. Him being on the pitch, people can say he didn't minimal to nothing on that. Him being on there allowed that. I mean, he did the cross to Nico Williams that automatically created the goal.
Oh,
Argument can be made, huh? Yamal did.
actually,
Yeah.
I'm reading here the favorite, and I don't disagree with this. The favorite to win the Ballon d'Or is Harry Kane.
Oh God, what website are you saying that on? So
Uh,
He's only
how
based
does it?
it off of the record run that he had with
yeah,
Bayern Munich.
I think, I think this year Harry Kane had a phenomenal year, absolutely out of this
But then in the
world
World
year.
Cup, he didn't do shit.
Well, I got to the
He wasn't the best
semifinals.
player. Okay, Mbappe got to the semifinals,
Yeah, but he did.
and
I think
Mbappe was the best player on
I
France.
think. I think.
Carry that French team.
No, but I think the goals that Harry Kane scored this year are just out of this world.
He
Like we're
did, but
talking about.
isn't the league?
I
Name
won't
says
say
he's
that
in
they
the
were
league.
out of
He's
this
stat
world.
padding.
Yeah, to
No,
me,
his
I mean, he
numbers are
won it with.
insane.
Yeah, but
His
Bayern
numbers, you
Munich is
can't
the
deny.
only team in Germany this year. Like this was a
Yeah,
true Bayern Liga year. That's the
yeah.
only problem.
So
Whereas, like
Well,
in La Liga,
that's who the front runner is.
you have Real Madrid and you have Barcelona and Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. So it's a lot different than just Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich.
somebody
That's
say
my only
Fabian is a
problem.
shout. Somebody say Fabian is a shout. I would agree with you, but then again, and I love Fabian Ruiz, but was Fabian the best player on that Spanish team though? That's the thing.
All right, these are the top 10 according to the average betting odds. Harry Kane number one, Lamine Yamal two, Mbappe three, Rodri four, Messi five, Dembele six, Kubarsi seven, Olise eight, Bellingham nine, Fabian Ruiz 10. Haaland 11, Varaskelia 12, Declan Rice 13, Vinicius Jr. 14, Vitinha 15, Neves, blah, blah, blah.
And you can't give it to Rodri because Rodri was injured half of the season, right?
Yeah, but they still
Barely
gave
came back.
Rodri Player of the Tournament for the World
No,
Cup.
no, but the tournament, yeah, but the tournament he was solid. He was a player. But for me, I
Yeah,
think
but
the
was he
unsung
really the
hero.
best player of the tournament?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you go back and watch the games though, him and Kubarsi, bro, like Rodri literally like in front of that defense, dog. Without Rodri, bro, they would have been, phew, they'd have been catching strays, man. Yo, Rodri is him and Kurbasi, and then what's his name? Him, Kurbasi, and Fabian Ruiz for me undisputable. But for me, I rank Kurbasi first, Rodri second best player, and then Fabian Ruiz probably the second best. Because look, Unai Simon, bro, Unai Simon barely fucking did it dove. If you remember the World Cup, bro, Unai Simon barely did anything. The goalie barely did anything this World Cup because of people. Rodri sitting in front of that defense, dog. Like Rodri had a role, the same role as Marco Senna had for Spain in the Euro 2008. Like Euro 2008, Marco Senna, bro, that's the unsung hero of Spain playing in front of that defense. That's how Rodri was. And I don't think nobody's contesting Rodri winning best player, like, of the tournament, though. I don't think nobody is. I don't think nobody is.
Mm.
But yeah,
Okay,
but
so
yeah.
um, uh, based on the numbers, the individual numbers, I think, in my opinion, it's either Mbappe or Harry Kane. I think it's
I
going to be
think
one of those two.
yeah, I think Yamal though. I think they
I
might
don't
give
think
it
so.
to Yamal, but I think Mbappe should win this one though. And if Mbappe wins this one, I mean the first player to be um World Cup like top goal scorer in Champions League, La Liga and a World Cup. Yeah, that's a feat. That's a feat. And let's not keep it a buck. Mbappe performed well this World Cup, bro. Like he carried that team.
Yeah.
Like he
So
really put it on his back.
he scored 58 goals, 58 goals total.
Which is crazy. That's
Ha-
crazy, though.
Harry Kane scored more, but I don't know how many.
That's crazy. And then the Bellingham, they need to stop comparing Bellingham to Zidane. It makes me sick. Somebody that freaks French, bro. They're not the same.
Dude, Harry Kane scored 61 goals in 50 games. That's crazy.
Lewandowski was doing but because that's freaking Bayern, bro. Like, sheesh.
No, that
Yeah,
includes
there's
that includes all the numbers are include even with Mbappe includes the national team too.
Yeah, but Bayern just be like, Bayern is playing a
Like
bunch of
literally, the
nobodies.
Bayern literally owns that league. That's the only problem.
But I feel like that's probably made Bayern. That's probably Bayern. Like Bayern is no longer
Uh huh.
like they're still good, but they're no longer as a threat because
Oh,
it starts to not
73
have
goals.
competition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that in the
agree with
year.
that.
Yeah, this started like, bro, you need like back in the day, you still had like Werder Bremer, you still had Schalke, you still had Amberg. Not saying they were winning the league, but bro, that they'll create
Oh,
some
my
type
bad.
of like competition, bro.
Right?
Sorry,
There's no
sorry,
right. There's at least some pushback.
sorry. 61. Kane 61 goals only with Bayern. My bad.
Okay.
Uh, with the national team, it comes to 73.
Don't get me wrong. Kane had the second best individual career season, obviously after Messi.
Yeah.
But again, Messi had way more competition. That's the only problem.
And Messi, if Messi would have won, I feel like if Messi would have won this World Cup, they would have gave it to him. Like that's not even up for debate. They would have gave
He
it
would
to
have
him.
deserved it. He would have deserved it if he
Yep,
won it.
they would have gave
I
it
mean,
to him.
and
They'd
but
have been
Messi
like,
still has a good amount of goals. Like I think he's at like 43 goals or something like that.
and then
Like
also Messi can be included in the conversation.
He
He
is.
he won the American League
That's
with
it.
with with FC Miami. That counts. Oh, what y'all gonna disrespect our league and say it
That's
doesn't
right.
count? He won the league. They call it the League of the Rappers, bro. The McDonald League.
The
Shit.
McDonald's League.
It's Messi and friends, literally, bro. These motherfuckers are fucking really
Yeah, he brought all
scamming the
his
fuck.
friends to all his friends
He's
to play there.
they're
De
scamming the fuck out
Paul,
of Beckham and all these
Suarez.
people, and all these people just chilling in Florida, bro.
It's like a little Argentina gang.
They're not far from Argentina, with all those Cubans out there, all them right wings. That's a decided stand, bro. Those are your people, Roy.
Did you see Ferran
Join
Torres?
me.
Did you see Ferran Torres with the the Make Spain Great Again hat?
Oh, I didn't see
you
it.
know,
Then they
it's
already
funny.
didn't like him like that. Then they let him try to get canceled.
On the parade bus. He was wearing it on the parade bus.
You saw what Trump just did? Trump got in his feelings, bro.
What did he do?
Because he tried to photobomb them, try to make it about him, of
Yeah,
course.
he
Okay.
did.
So now today, an interview, he said, he's like, we're cutting trade on, we're cutting like our partnership with Spain. It was like at a NATO summit. He's like, they're not good partners. They're not whatever. He said, yeah, let's cut them. Like, call it, yeah, we're stopping our trades with them.
That's right.
I don't know how serious
That's
he
what
was,
happens
but
when you don't allow Trump to photobomb your picture.
Roger was like, "Yo, go away." You saw Roger? Roger's like, "Yo, go away." Yeah, he's like, "Yo, bro, let's take a pic." Infantino is such a puppet in front of him, bro. It's not even funny, dog. It's just crazy. He has no personality. Just laughing. Like, and the reason I say that, it's like how they were sending that red card. It really pissed me off. It fucked up U.S. tournament, bro.
Yeah, I
And
don't care
then
about
and
that.
then and then politicians gonna go and laugh about it online and be like, "Yes, with that red card, you made the call." Like, bro, like what? Dog, like that's why I don't like when non-soccer people get involved in our shit, bro. Like, and it's not even not on some partisan shit. It's just the president getting involved to call, and now everybody knows, and they think it's a normal thing to do. I hate that shit, bro. Because the U.S. could have had a run, but anyway,
I mean, the U.S. wasn't going to get past Belgium. They shouldn't get past
they
Belgium.
they, they could have. I feel like if what's his name didn't play, they could have put up a fight. I think what's Balogun coming back in the squad just fucked up their whole calculation. It fucked up the whole scheme and everything. But I don't think
Yeah,
Pochettino is gonna stay because that interview he put out, boy, them motherfuckers is not happy, bro. You know Americans with their egos. You heard what he said? He said the league. He said the American league. He said the American sports system breeds losers. Huh.
Who said
Boy,
that?
oh boy. Pochettino.
Oh yeah, that's those are
Whew.
fire me words.
So yeah,
hey,
those are
but is he
fighting words.
lying though?
He's not
Is he
lying.
lying though?
I've been saying that. Yeah,
Okay,
the
that's all
entire
that
league.
matters.
Yeah, no, because he was saying that based on the draft system, the reward. He's like, here losers get rewarded. There's no incentive to
Right.
fight for anything, which is right. But and then I found out about they put the whole I did some deep diving into like the American Federation. I'm like, yeah, but this whole shit is fucked. Like the people, like the type of red tape that there is, people that have to approve, they're not even part of soccer. Apparently, there's some lady that sits in the federation that has to approve a lot of stuff that she's not even a soccer person, but she's in it because I think she
Government more
knows
pussy.
somebody in the government. I mean, you know how it is. I mean, shit.
That it is.
Vince McMahon's wife is the she's she's the
Secretary.
secretary of education, bro. So yo,
Hey,
what is the
hey,
S-Ray?
hey, bruh. WWE. Come on, that's education. That's prime education, dude.
Right. The WWE was considered what essential business during COVID. Yo,
Was it?
McMahon is a clown, bro. Yo,
Was it?
yeah,
That's crazy.
because
That's
everybody was shutting down. They're like, yo, they were essential business because they weren't trying to lose money because they make money on the road. So
that's right.
I'm like, bro, these people are so fucking funny, dog. It's crazy, but it's good old, the U.S. Federation. They can go to hell. I don't think the USL is never gonna merge. They're not gonna accept that. No, people gotta buy their yachts. Like what? Americans will never try to lose money. So I agree with Lalas. Who's gonna bear the cost?
Like man, the clubs gotta pay the cost like they do everywhere else.
The most idiotic people. But Lalas is our Lord Commander. Okay, he says the system works. Stop. Linda's is on Twitter. Poor Lalas, bro. He's been dissed the entire World Cup. Um,
Probably has
Hmm.
owns some academies or some shit like that.
the man from what he had a scholarship from University of Michigan or whatever the fuck. Played at Padova. He had a good career when the standards were low. But your name to fame where American standards were low when literally they were hiring a lot of pay to play kids. And oh my god. And then Donovan too, bro. He's on the generation hate run too, bro. I mean, he did play good for us, but I'm like, bro, you didn't make it in Europe, bro. Just shut up. The only person that's worth like in this national team that's worth speak that has like at least the power I feel like that should speak are Clint Dempsey, Tim Howard, and Brad Friedel. Because I think they had a decent, they played in Europe for a long time. Clint Dempsey, like he made his name up there, made his name in the Prem, like and they got good takes, from the technical. And Clint Dempsey to me is like the best American player, and Brian McBride too. Brian McBride, like he was a good one because he
What
played
about
at Fulham
DeMarcus
for a long
Beasley
time.
and Kobe Jones?
Demarcus, no, Demarcus Beasley, Kobe Jones is more. He's played too much in him on this, but Demarcus Beasley for sure. Demarcus Beasley with that run with PSV in '05 against, bro, they was about to get Milan out of there. And on that '05 semifinal, because we played against PSV, bro. That PSV team was crazy with Farfan, the two Koreans, Park and Lee. No, it was Park. It was Park Yunsun that used to be on PSV. And Ambrosini scored. Remember, Ambrosini scored that last goal. Like,
Yep.
oh, bro. If Ambrosini didn't score that goal, we're out of there. But yeah, no, Demarcus Beasley had a good career too, though. But he's not really in the media limelight like that.
What
And
about
you know what?
Stuart Holden?
I like Stuart Holden commentary. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's
You know,
decent.
I
I don't
played
mind
against his brother in high school.
for real.
Yeah,
But Stuart Holden look like
he
a
was
pay to
nowhere
play
near as good
kid.
as Stewart, but
Stuart is a pay to play. I like wasn't it Tillman? Mike Tillman. I like his takes. I like their takes on American like so I don't understand it because they play in the MLS and I like listening to them. And they had actually decent careers in MLS, but you know, Stuart Holden is good. He's decent. And then I'm missing somebody. I try. Do you know on Pitch 25? I didn't know it belonged to Brian Ching. I was like, what the fuck? Brian Ching? Yeah,
I haven't heard that name at first.
I know that's he's the owner of Pitch 25. I was like, what the fuck? And then I looked up, he did play for the Dynamos at one point. I'm like, what the fuck? For anybody that doesn't know who Brian Chink,
You can't forget about the greatest United States defender to play the game, Onyewu.
yeah, O'Neal, bro, the one that fucking about to kill Zlatan, boy. He was about to kill that boy. But yeah, but Brian Ching, for people that don't know, he's the first Hawaiian player to play for the national team. Was a striker. Good old Brian Ching. But yeah, Anyehu was
You
good.
know the U.S.'s best result in the World Cup. You know what it is?
Yeah, I know because I
What
watched
is it?
it.
What is it?
It's not the 1930 for me don't count, bro. There's only
Yeah, it
fucking
does count.
two
What are you
teams,
talking about?
bro. You talking at the time where a bunch of plumbers used to come and watch the game? Only four
Yeah,
teams.
of
How
course
you
it
make it to the
counts.
How
It
you make it to the
wasn't.
semifinal?
It was 16 teams. But
Four
still,
teams.
man,
You're already in the semifinal,
that's who was playing football.
and you rely. Holy shit. Oh my god, bro. How is that even fair, bro?
Where
Like
they made the semifinals,
literally,
man.
literally, it's like a nations league, like a 14 nations league,
And it was
and
all
then there's like,
Italians, by the way.
of course it is. They took all them Italians that they were about to deport based on some fucking mafia scandal, and they're like, hey, come play for us if you if you want to be pardoned. Well, look
Probably
at
something like
Luciano
that.
and his people. That's probably them people. Look at Luciano and his people. Yeah, okay, go play for it. Yeah,
And
right.
something like that. Did you
Nah,
see?
bro.
Did you see Italy's cricket team?
No. From back in the day?
No. You don't.
I
You know
don't watch
Italy has a
cricket.
cricket team. Italy has a
Yeah,
cricket team.
I mean, it doesn't wasn't Milan started as a cricket team, so I won't be surprised.
Yeah, Milan started as a cricket team. Okay, so according to Steady Grind, I think this year's Ballon d'Or is going to be controversial no matter who they pick. My vote is
Yeah, it
clear.
is
We got
gonna
to
be
give.
controversial though. It is. It is though. It really is. Because if you give it to Dembele, they're like, oh, so now people are gonna be like, oh well, so y'all consider Champions League over the World Cup, and that's what happened when it's yeah. This year's gonna be controversial. Because 2018, it could have not been. I mean, 2018 was kind of controversial too. But then again, the good there was a good comp that Madrid won the Champions League and also won the best player of the World Cup tournament, made it to the final. So I think there was a little slack, and I was happy that Madrid won. I think he deserved it. But for this year though, it's gonna be tough, dog.
Yeah.
Because if you give it to what's his name, Rodri, Rodri didn't win nothing with Man City this year at all. Barely played, but he was the best player of the tournament in the World Cup.
But even
But
not that, but I mean, Spain was a collective effort, really.
and no, and I agree. But again, you're gonna give it to Kubasi, they're gonna be like, well, what has he done? It's not a name that was popping up, you know. Because if you give it to Kubasi, you can go to Kubasi, you can do it like Cannavaro. Because Cannavaro, like in '07, wasn't Cannavaro moved to Madrid '06? That's a country purely. Like, the Cannavaro had a good 2006 year, like club wise. It was decent though. But that World Cup elevated, man. Like, yo, here, you're Ballon
Oh, he
d'Or.
was amazing that World Cup. He was fucking
Yeah.
phenomenal.
But in club, it
Phenomenal.
wasn't like it was crazy. Like he had some crazy
No,
run in
that
club. Nope,
year, what did they
nope.
get? I think they
Because that
got
year,
to the
because that
quarterfinals. I
year,
think.
'06, yeah, '06, yes, it was '06. '06, they got eliminated. Oh, I remember. They got eliminated. They got eliminated in the quarterfinals by Arsenal.
It was
Yes,
either
Arsenal
Arsenal or
eliminated.
Liverpool. Or
No,
was
no,
it
no, no.
Liverpool?
Arsenal eliminated them, and then Arsenal went on to eliminate Madrid after that. Because well, Arsenal was on that run, but
Oh yeah, yeah,
Arsenal
yeah, yeah.
just yeah,
That
Arsenal
makes sense.
eliminated
That makes sense. Yeah,
yeah. Because Ibra was still on, he was still at Juve at that time. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember.
that makes
Because
sense.
that's the year of Arsenal Barcelona played the final
That's the year the
for the
refs
World Cup.
decided that Milan was not going to win the
Dude, that
Champions League.
I'll never stomach that Shevchenko foul
Yeah,
or whatever imaginary foul on
that
Pure, bro.
imaginary foul. Yeah,
I can never stomach that shit.
that's it. We won. We deserve. We that was our final. We were going to
Bro,
win it.
we could have won the Champions League 4 years in a row
Yeah,
because in '04, so we won in '03 and '04 we should have beat Deportivo La Coruña. I don't know how we go and they let it.
Well, apparently, according to the players, they thought that Deportivo were playing on another gear that
yeah. I mean,
usually you don't usually you don't play unless you help yourself. You know what I'm
that was a
saying?
that was a fluke year also for Champions League because like all the greats got kicked out. I mean, that Porto Monaco final, nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. Um,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
is
we
it,
know.
it
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
That was a
it
weird
is.
year. Yeah,
It was really weird year. Monaco got eliminated. I mean, Monaco, and I was supporting Monaco that year because they eliminated Madrid. I remember in the semifinals. Um, and they just crumbled in the league. But then again, and then you look at '05, we should have won that final.
yep,
You look at '06, we went to the semifinal. We should have beaten Barcelona. If that Shiva goal counted, we could have beaten Barcelona. I don't
yeah.
think Arsenal was beating us. I don't give a fuck what nobody
No,
says.
no way.
And then '07, we came with blood.
Yeah,
But I think in that run, our best team on paper was in '05, bro. I think that '05 team was completely stacked.
yeah.
It
You're
wasn't
right.
even fair. It wasn't even fair. But
All
yeah.
right, let's close it here. Let's close it
Yes,
here
sir.
on a good note.
Yes, sir.
So let's see what happens, guys, next these upcoming days, and we'll be here live, and we'll be discussing everything
Yup.
that needs to be discussed.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Peace out.
All right, bro. All right. Bye.
Later to everybody.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Peace. And everybody in chat, thanks for being here. Make sure to click like and all that good stuff. Later.